Hello, good evening, and welcome. Okay, let's see who's in the house tonight. We're on the the main channel tonight because it's Wednesday night. Why is there a lack of light there? Things look very, very dark there, but the things look a little bit dark there, or whatever. Okay, so I'm on the main channel tonight, and let's see who's in the house. David Mahoney, enhance my travel dreams. Okay, good start. Good start, this one. David Mahoney, enhance my travel dreams with something positive. I'll give you something positive. My flight to Romania is confirmed, and I've got my boarding pass. So that's a good start, isn't it? Bernard Purcell, Dutch Farang, David R. David R is coming on this show very, very soon. He's in the waiting room right now, and he's going to tell us about his recent travels to Thailand. Maybe, excuse me, keep us up to date there. Okay, Mark, Paul Hoskin, Ichigo, Johan Z. Oh my God, the chat's jumping already, isn't it? Johan Z, Chaz Brown, Ernest Connell, World Traveller, Gemini Star, Dutch Farang, Gary Harmon. I just like meeting up with an old friend. I'm fine. That's what I'm here for, mate. That's what I'm here for. Wayne M, evening all. Neil Fleet, Ivan, 29, Rich and Faranglam, Peter Blue, hi Fast Eddie, Ian UK, hope all as well. Okay, I'm going to answer that one, to begin with, because as I just said a moment ago, I was a bit worried because I've got less than a week to go before I'm supposed to be on an airplane to Bucharest, and I hadn't heard of. I just haven't received my booking pass. Now it's a bargain basement flight that I've got. It's a direct flight, but I just hadn't received any emails. I was expecting an email to say, "This is your boarding pass, Mr. Sweeney." Okay, I hadn't received it. I was getting a little bit worried because a week's a bit, it's cutting it a little bit fine. So I managed to get on the website today. Both the agent that I'm using, Tripcom, and also the main airline. Apparently, even if you book through an agent for this one, you've got to go on the main airline, their website, and register an account with them in order to download your boarding pass. So, cut a long story short, I've got my boarding pass, but the bargain price of London airport to Bucharest return, yes? The bargain price was £36.50. Well, if something sounds too good to be true, it probably is, because in order to get your boarding pass, and this is the way I've done it, you have to reserve your seat. I've chosen a nice aisle seat at a cost of £26 each way. So, it's not more like it's a £36.50. It's more like £88.50, which is still very, very, very reasonable. But, it's not as bargain basement as what I thought. But anyway, I've got my boarding pass. So this time next week, hopefully I will be in Bucharest. I'm hoping. It's looking good anyway. Okay, McLaren F1 race. Hey, Eddie, happy 18th birthday to my son today. Not such a happy day for me, but it happens, okay? Happy birthday to your son, mate. 18, God almighty. What would you give to be 18 again, okay? Only wishing what you knew now. That's the old cliche, isn't it? Happy birthday to him anyway, mate. Gemini Star, Wayne Kerr, Seamus O'Doherty. Seamus Doherty, hey Eddie, I've been watching videos of Non Penla. He seems to be a great selection of women and nightlife. Well, it's back to normal. It always was. It always was a great place. David R. No, I'm not a witch. David will reveal himself any moment, in a couple of minutes' time. Kipax, good evening, Eddie, in chat. Okay, good evening. Ernest Connell, it's dark because you're in outer space. There's something about this screen that I've still got my usual lighting, but it doesn't look as bright as what it normally does. I wonder why that is. Is there any settings there that I can? No, I'm not going to go. I'm not going to confuse things. That's disaster whenever that happens. Okay, so listen, I'm going to crack on with this in a minute. Anyway, we're going to get David on anyway. Hard Tulip, nice to hear from you. Camai Faith. Okay. Hi, Eddie. Take me with you next time. Yeah, I will do. Yeah, sure. Okay, Yogi Bear. Good evening. Good evening. Mark Holland, good evening. Eddie. Glad to hear you confirm for Romania. Brill. Yeah, absolutely. That's a couple of hours on I'm terrible, mate, for doing account. Everything's got an account these days. It's got an account for everything, and everything's got a password. And I wasn't getting anywhere with the password on the airline site. I was only there. What a numpty! I realised I didn't book it through the airline site. My password is with the agent, so I had to set up another account. Anyway, I've had them printed out. I've got my boarding pass, my coach ticket to the airport. It's all printed out now. As far as I know, the flight has not been moved. It's there next week. It's on schedule. So I'm looking forward to it anyway. Nice to hear from you, Mark. Anyway, okay. Okay, okay, just a nice little quick cheeky one here. Gaz77. Hi, Eddie. I'm in bed with a 94-year-old blow-up doll I bought from a guy called Keith Robson. Oh, my God. Is the 94, are they the ones with the real hair? You know, like they made them in the olden days. Good for you, mate, anyway. Okay, so I'm going to get my guest on now. He's been on the show before. He's a very, very interesting guy, all the way from California, yes. And it is the one and only. It is the one and only Big Dave. How's it going, Dave? How are you?
No, I'm not a witch. This is my Oktoberfest hat from Munich.
Yeah, it looks terrific. It looks absolutely terrific, mate. You know, it's very well. I mean, it's not exactly. I was going to use the word colourful. I mean, it's not colourful, but it's fun. I'm all for a bit of fun and light artists. Oktoberfest. Never been to that one. Never been to that one. Is presumably it's good.
Well, I haven't been to it in over 20 years, but the couple times I did do it, it was really good.
Yeah, yeah. I'm amazed. I heard that somebody like some German athletes, if I mention the name of Boris Becker, love the Oktoberfest and whatever. I'm surprised that athletes, German athletes, super fit athletes, would go to a place where they just drink loads of beer. I mean, it's not fair, is it? I drink beer and I get fat. I don't look very athletic afterwards. So listen to everyone in the chat. I think you've probably seen David before. This is the main channel. So do you want to introduce yourself a little bit, Dave? A little bit, just a few words.
Well, I live in Cali, down in Southern California.
Yeah.
I've been to 52 countries, every continent, all around the world. So I do consider myself a world traveler, but I do focus mainly on Asia for the last, at least a dozen years now.
Yeah. Well, why the hell not? I mean, it's great fun, isn't it? I mean, Thailand's great fun anyway. Somehow we always seem to be drawn back to Thailand because at the end of the day, I mean, there's fun travel and there's interesting travel. Like you, I've done quite a bit of interesting travel, but at the end of the day, Thailand is all about fun, really, isn't it? Yeah, so what the hell's wrong with that?
Good food, everything's cheap, it's easy to party there. I mean, what's there not to like?
Yeah, absolutely. So for those who don't know, Dave is recently spent a month in Thailand. You went to, I believe it was Pattaya and Phuket. He was on the show the other week. That was actually from Phuket when you were doing that live stream, wasn't it?
No, I think I was back in Pattaya.
You were back in, but you were in Thailand though. So you arrived in Thailand within days of me leaving the place, didn't you? Really? It wasn't deliberate. I would love to have met up here, but it wasn't deliberate. Sure, but that month that you arrived there from early May, that's when things started getting really, really relaxed. And a few people said to me, Ed, what are you going home for? It's starting to get good now. So, but and I had 4 months of over the top indulgence, and I just needed it got quite enough for me. So, what I think a lot of people want to know: how was the last month in Thailand? How good was it?
Well, I arrived May 11th, and the reason for me going was on May 1, they dropped all the testing requirements on arrival.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the factor for me going. So, I got there on May 11th, and, stayed in Bangkok for 4 nights, and after not being there for the last 2 years, it was kind of sensory deprivation. So I kind of went crazy. I partied my ass off. I think I barely slept for 4 nights. The first 4 nights I was in Bangkok, I mean, I was worn out.
Well, you're ahead of me, mate. I mean, nothing keeps me from my beauty sleep, believe me. I want to crash out. It takes me a couple of days to recover from the flight. It's only about when I arrive in somewhere like Thailand, it's probably only the second, if I'm lucky, night out there that I actually managed to have a proper night out. So jet lagged.
I think I was out of the airport in 10 minutes or less.
Yeah. Really, yeah. Very different for me when I went there. I mean, the difference for me between going there and coming and leaving there was massive. I mean, leaving there was a doddle. I mean, it was easy, no problem at all. Going there was very, very, very stressful. It really was stressful. But I've talked about that in the past. So first of all, your first 4 nights in Bangkok. How did you find Bangkok?
I thought it was fine. I mean, aside from the little annoyances of wearing the masks, going to a 7-Eleven, but I mean, you know how it is. If you're not going into a shopping mall or a 7-Eleven, nobody really cares whether you wear that mask or not.
Yeah,
I wasn't wearing it in any bars or anything, and nobody else was.
Yeah. I mean, the most bizarre thing, it happened in this country as well when they started opening up again. You see, before you enter the bar, even in this country, it was the case at one time. You must wear a mask before entering here, right? So you have a mask on before you enter the bar. But when you get in there and start drinking beer, you can take the mask off. Strange.
It's even that. I mean, most places didn't really even care if you walked in with it or not.
Yeah. It's very, very strange. It's very, very strange. Let me just a few questions before we go on. We'll do sort of a laid back stream because I do want to include the chat as well. Gemini Star, David, you're not a wizard, are you? Yeah, of course he's a wizard. Of course he's a wizard.
He's Potter.
A former NASA scientist. Of course he's a wizard. Of course he's a wizard. Okay. Let's another one. Dave, touch Farang. Dave, where is your Russian hat?
I was going to put on a Russian Navy hat tonight, but I figure all that stuff is not politically correct right now.
Yeah, well, my all I was going to say about that, Dave, I'm sure you'd agree. My thoughts are with them. I see these. I don't want to talk about it. Let's hope that the good people shine through anyway. Okay. Let me see now. Let me see. A few of these. Martin Ryder drawn back to Thailand. I can't think why. I think Martin Ryder is a regular commentator on this channel and other YouTube channels as well. Very, very, very knowledgeable, and I do appreciate Martin Ryder. His comments because he's so informative. He's well traveled and he knows a lot of countries. So it's always good to hear from Martin Ryder. What we've got here, Mark Oleg. Nice to hear from you. This is a fellow American, Dave. Mark Oleg. Hey, Dave. I'm in Minneapolis. How are the gas prices there? I've been to Cali many times in the past.
Cali, they're over $6, which compared to people in Europe, they're probably laughing, but it's quite a bit to stomach for us out here in California.
$6. So what exactly do you get for $6?
You get a gallon, which is about 4 liters.
About 4 liters. That's still probably cheaper. I mean, here, a diesel car now, you would be talking £100 to actually fill it up, or probably over £100. That's about. Well, it's $120 at this moment in time. That's another point that the dollar has gone really strong, hasn't it?
Yeah.
There's not much difference these days between a pound, a euro, and a dollar. There's not really a great deal of difference.
That's right.
I did see on the Tiger today, by the way, the Tiger that the Thai baht. Some say it's devaluing. It doesn't look. There's only one currency that is devaluing against, and that's the US dollar, isn't it? Is it about 35 Thai baht to $1 now?
Yeah, it just hit 35. When I was
Yeah,
leaving, it was 34 and a half. But I mean, anything over 33 is free money in my mind.
yeah, yeah. So, well, I mean, if it's going to be in America and the dollar is going strong, okay, let's have a little. Okay, we've got a few humorous comments here. We've got a few humorous comments here in the chat. Joe Hart, airfares to Thailand and the Philippines have shot up in the past week. I think more than the past week. I mean, it's been going on for a while now, Joe. I'm glancing at all kinds of places. Right now, I'm going to Romania, as you probably know, next week, Dave, on a bargain flight.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, it does. But I'm glancing at flights for maybe in the autumn time to maybe the Philippines. I've looked at Cuba. I've looked at even Mexico, and they're all well more expensive than what they should be. Maybe it's something to do with the cost of fuel or whatever it is. It's. But anyway, yeah. As you know, I'm heading out to Rome. Have you been to Romania, Dave?
No, I haven't been there. I've been to a few other places around there, but I definitely would like to go there sometime.
Yeah, it looks like a very, very, to me, like a very cultural place. I've always wanted to go to Romania. I've been to Bulgaria and a few other Eastern European places, but never made it to Romania. But I think the timing is right because I think their climate will be very, very good at the time that I go there. But also, I think I've got an idea that that's actually medieval villages, and I love all that sort of stuff. It's got the Black Sea coast. And it had a bit of a dodgy reputation in the past. Because don't forget, before they joined the EU, was it about 14 years ago, something like that, Romanians were prepared to cling to the undercarriages of trains in order to get into Europe. It was really quite a desperate place. But apparently it's a lot of the riffraff elements have left Romania now. They've gone to places like London and Paris. And the word is that Romania is a very, very safe country now, provided, you use your common sense and all that. Yeah, I'll be on the plane next week and I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. So let's say, again, you told us about Bangkok. Did you find Bangkok to be really lively?
I didn't have any problems with Bangkok. I stayed there twice. I stayed my first 4 nights there and my last 4 nights there. So the place I was really shocked was Phuket.
Really?
Yeah.
You said it was really dead.
I mean, you see all these YouTubers and everybody saying, it's so good, but for guys like me and you, well, I think you've never been there, but I mean, I've been going to Phuket for over 20 years.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing there. I mean, all the shopping malls are closed. 80% of the stuff is still closed. You go down on Bangalore Road, Walking Street, and there's some stuff open and there's some tourists there, but it's nowhere near what, I mean, to me, I found it just very boring.
Yeah. I have actually been to Phuket. I went there once about 20 years ago, and I loved it. It was before I stayed in Patong. It was before they had that terrible tsunami. But Dave, I mean, during my recent travels in Thailand, there is no place really in Thailand that has divided people's opinions as much as Phuket. You really go from one extreme to the other. Some people say, get on down there. It's brilliant. Yeah, it's rocking and rolling. And then other people say it's dead. It really, I'm glad and we did discuss this the other week, but I seen quite a few islands during my travels, and I just run out of energy. And the plan was to go to Phuket, but after what you told me, I'm really, really glad that I didn't bother.
Well, for me, I always go to Phuket for 5 nights every trip I go to Thailand. In fact, I was about 3 days out of going to Phuket back in March 2020, right before the country shut down and we had to get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was back on my books to go there. But had I known it was that dead, I might have skipped it. Now, that's not saying I didn't have any fun there.
Yeah.
I enjoyed my time in Phuket, but I'm what do you call it? More of a local. I mean, I know what to do there. If it's but what I'm saying is if it's your first time going to Phuket, I would wait.
Yeah. Well, like you said a moment ago, I mean, it's divided a lot of people. I'm just glad that I didn't bother really, because I wouldn't like to see it in there. wouldn't want to do that. Let's see what have we got here. Let's see. Dave is in the next White House press secretary. He's in the Cittadine. Thailand is great. The bar girls, the go-go girls, the freelance cleaning girls. What a bundle of fun. Big. What is this now? What is it? You get some wonderful comments and some really, really
looking at these comments.
What have we got now?
Now remember, Ed.
We've got a super chat here. Yeah, Mark Holland. Eddie, if David removes his hat for 5 seconds, you decide how to split the $100 with him. I threw an extra 50 in because it's what I do. Use the money for the Romania travel fund and associated things you want to spend it on. Eddie, if David removes his hat for 5 seconds, you can decide how to split the $100 with him. I threw in an extra 50 because what I do. Use the money for the Romania travel fund. Okay. Dave's removed his hat, so I'll split the $100 with Dave. I owe Dave $50. Okay,
that's cool.
Mark, a big thanks. It's very, very generous of you, Mark. Really generous. And I really appreciate that. And I'd love you to come on this show sometime, Mark, if you really, really want. I mean, it'll be great. Dave's been on this show quite a few times, and he's such a good guest. And it would be great to have you on this show. Mark, that's brilliant. Really, cheers, mate. Thanks for that. Very generous.
So remember another thing, Ed, is I was getting back to my condo after 2 years, which I hadn't seen in 2 years.
Yeah.
So that was a shock.
Yeah. Well, absolutely. I mean, what did you think when you arrived back at your condo? I mean, was anyone looking after that for you, Dave, while you were away?
No, it's in a it's one of those big, large resort ones. So it's all gated and, no one can get into it. But it did have a few more interesting smells to it from being locked up for 2 years. And there was a bunch of hornets' nests on the balcony. But I hired the cleaning staff to come in there and clean it all up for 500 baht. And after that, you wouldn't even know I never left it.
Yeah, absolutely. Dave, I owned a nice big apartment in Turkey, and I used to worry about it when I wasn't there. It was dreadful when I'd fly from England to Turkey, and I'd head down there, and as soon as I put that key in the door, I thought, what's going to happen there? Am I going to find big load of squatters living there? A big load of squatters. I used to worry what was awaiting me anyway.
Yeah, it's always a surprise when you open that door. But the only problem I ever had was some water got in under the door one year and damaged some of the cabinets. But it was the condo's fault, so they replaced them all for me for free.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Let me just see. Is a question here. What is a question here? Red Wing, why come back? You talking about me or Dave?
Come back where? Oh, to the U.S.?
I think he might be talking. He's not really explicit about what he means. I think he's talking about when you travel and coming back home. That's what people often
because
say.
I have a very nice house here and some nice automobiles and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got to have a life. I mean, you go to Thailand for fun. It's like a really great night out. You've looked forward to a very, very long time. You can't wait to get there, and you can't wait for that night out. You want to eat, drink, be merry. But there comes a time when you think, wait a minute, I've had enough. I just want to go home and sit in front of the TV and watch Netflix. That's what I was like, Dave. I mean, I was there 4 months. 4 months of eat. It got me down after a while. I wanted
to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I know exactly.
Detox.
Yeah. I remember once I was traveling around South America, for 6 months, and I went it was a full 6 month ticket to Rio de Janeiro. I went from Rio right the way down to deepest Argentina, all by bus, public bus, and then right the way back up South America from Argentina through Bolivia, Peru, Ecuador, Colombia. I flew through the Amazon and stayed in the rainforest and whatever. And 6 months, absolutely amazing. So glad I'd done it. But it does wear you out. It really, really, really does wear you out. And I remember at the end of the 6 months, I was getting my flight back from from Rio. I was in the queue, to check in. That 6 months was. I just wanted to go home. I just had enough. And some air hostess come to me and said, "Look, we'll get you a better seat. You had so many. Give us so many euros. We'll put you up for a hotel in Rio for a reasonable price for a couple more nights, and then get you on a better seat." And I thought, "Oh God, just go away." No, I don't think you realise, baby. I've been travelling for 6 months. I think that's about enough's enough. Enough's enough. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Well, I was going to give you my total expenditure bill for the month I was there. So not counting the plane ticket, because I did use miles and went on a free ticket. So that only cost me $70 in taxes. But all total for the 1 month, I spent $2,400.
$2,400. Well, that's easy. That's so easy to calculate in British money. That's £2,000. That's £2,000 in English money for 1 month. Well, that's actually about similar, because I was there 4 months. I spent £8,000.
Now, remember, 15 nights of that I was at my condo, so that's not paying for a hotel.
Yeah. So, he probably made up for, a few more, nice massages.
I did spend a little bit more on those this time than I would have normally.
I don't blame you, mate. I don't blame. No, that's actually, I know, like it's a little bit different in circumstances, but that's very, very similar to what I spent. At the end of the day, Dave, you've got to be realistic. I done a video, as you probably know. I made a video a couple of weeks back of what I spent, because people kept saying how much would it cost you for what you did for 4 months, and the end result was 8,000. £8,000. It's you've got to be realistic with people. I never ever would. I would never let BS people. I just wouldn't do that. I'd rather disappoint people, because there's some people who've heard everything's dirt cheap out there. I'd never ever tell people like that, because it's simply not true. I'd rather put people in the picture. I'd rather disappoint people rather than lie to people. Thailand is not dirt cheap, but it's cheap by European standards anyway. So, but it's 2,000. Yeah. If you really want to enjoy yourself, Dave, there's some guys out there who can spend a couple of grand in a couple of days. I've met them. I have met them. They're like a kid loses. I've met them. I was down in it 6 months, and a guy come up and recognized me, and he was not lying. He's I've only been here a couple of days. I've gone through $2,000 already. I said, what? How the hell have you managed that? He said, well, look at all these beds in the bar. Just look, a bar found a lot of them. It's possible. It's quite possible. It's quite possible.
I always tell everyone, no matter where you go in the world, you can always spend as much as you want to.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's down to the individual. Some people are disciplined with money, and some people are just crazy with money. Let's see. Yours travels. Question for David R. Are you close to San Diego, one of my favorite places in the USA?
Yeah, I'm in Orange County, so it's a 90-minute drive north of San Diego.
Yeah, really, yeah. Absolutely. So, tell us a little bit about what is it like. We'll go back to Thailand in a minute, because a lot of people in the chat here will want to know about that. What is California like? To live in. Is it?
Well, where I am, it's expensive. So, but I grew up here since I was 6 months old, and I'm here for. I mean, I can't say the reasons why I'm back here, but this is pretty much where I plan to be unless I ever plan to move to Thailand full time.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Well,
the weather's pretty constant here. I mean, you see all this heat wave and everywhere in the U.S., but I mean, it's 72 degrees here every day. I live 2 miles from the beach.
That's great, yeah. That's great. I think was it Michael Caine who he lived in Los Angeles. He was a tax exile in Los Angeles during the 1970s. When he eventually come back to England, he said, well, one of the things that he noticed about living in California is that people there don't talk about the weather the way they do in England.
There is no weather.
Yeah, because there's nothing to talk about. It's always sunny.
remember Prince Harry lives here now too.
Does he really? Does he?
Yeah,
Yeah. Don't worry, he'll be back. He'll be back here with his tail between his legs. He's had a privileged upbringing, but he is not streetwise. He's not streetwise like the rest of us are. Oh, don't worry, he'll be back. He'll be back. So let me see now. Can I just ask? I'm not paying that much attention. I'm not paying attention to trolls.
I don't know. I'm not looking at them.
I'm not looking at them, but just tell you guys, behave yourselves, and any of those out there. Really don't need. Mark Ollick, here it is $5. So he's talking about a gallon of fuel, gas in Minneapolis. Yeah. Yes.
Well, because some of the states in the U.S. use what's called the national average, which is just crossed over. I think Minnesota is one of them. But in California, we have much more taxes on fuel.
Yeah. Absolutely. So when we say gas, are we talking about petrol or diesel there?
No, gasoline. Yeah, not diesel's over $6. Diesel's a lot more expensive right now.
Yeah.
Most cars in the U.S. use gasoline.
Yeah. Oh well. I haven't even bothered getting my car up and running since I've been there, because my plan, I'm going to be out of the country for quite a lot. So I don't need a car. I just don't want a car sitting on the driveway costing me money within everything when I'm not going to, which is going to be when I'm going to be abroad. So let's see. Yeah, question here from Chris Walsh. Hi, this is for you, Dave. Hi, did you come across any of the CBD cafe bars that have opened in Pattaya?
Yeah, I've walked by a few of them. I mean, now the other big news is just like a week ago, Thailand legalized marijuana.
Oh yeah, really? Yeah.
Although the kind of weird thing is, from what I understand, is you can grow it and eat it and do all these things, but you can't smoke it.
That is kind of weird, Dave. That's kind of weird. I mean, I personally, I've never done anything like that in my life. I don't even smoke. I've never smoked.
Neither do I.
Cigarettes. I've never ever done any drugs or had any involved in anything like that whatsoever. It's just not. I mean, if somebody offered me a bloody, this is some great stuff, man. Have a look at this. I'd think, well, what, that could be bloody rat poison for all I know. I just don't get involved in any of that. But it seems strange that it wasn't that long ago when Thailand, we're giving people strict penalties to Bangkok Hilton for anything to do with drug-related offences. Now they're opening cafes and all as I know is that I personally won't be getting involved in any of it.
In fact, I saw that the police had seized a large amount of marijuana a couple weeks ago, but then since the law passed last week, they're giving it all back to the people they seized it from.
Yeah. Oh,
because it's now legal to own.
Yeah. No. Well, it's not an issue that would ever interest me. That would ever interest me. Here we go. Paul Hoskin, £9 a gallon for petrol. But Paul Hoskin's British. I do. Yeah. He is British. £9. That's probably about £11, $11 US. So we're still a lot more expensive.
I heard Sweden, it's over $13 a gallon.
$13 a gallon.
Sweden.
Yeah. Well, that's notorious. Those Scandinavian countries tend to be notoriously expensive, don't they? Which is probably why I've never been there. I tend to go to. One of the reasons I'm heading to Romania is because it's notoriously good value.
Now, here's some major Thailand news that's going to come up this Friday. The big CCSA meeting about what they're going to open up. But I did hear that they're going to make a big change to the visa exemption rule. That's always been 30 days, I heard they're going to move it to 45 now.
Really?
Yeah.
I've missed that, Dave. So you're telling me that if I don't get a pre-organized visa, I can get a flight to Bangkok, and on arrival, they'll immediately grant me 45 days.
They're going to move to 45 days, I've heard.
That is terrific. And that is really, really, really good news. That is good news. That's good. I mean, 30 days, because I tend to go to, Pattaya and stay there sporadically and use as a jumping off point to go other places. But that can only be good news, mate. That can only be good news. That's great.
Do you remember the old days 20 years ago in Thailand, before the new airport opened, when you were leaving, you had to cough up 500 baht cash to leave.
Yeah.
And then later they incorporated that into the plane ticket. Well, they're going to bring that tax back. There's going to be that new 300 baht tourist tax.
Yeah.
I heard it's going to start the last quarter of this year.
Well, 300 baht, it isn't that bad. That's about roughly. It's probably about £8. Yeah, about $10. I mean, when you're traveling, you're always going to have to pay more money that you didn't plan on paying. Like getting my bargain basement flight to Romania, I didn't figure on they were going to charge me, for the seat as well. So, it happens. You just got to expect that. Cats and good coffee. Hello, gentlemen. Good vibes. Yeah, good. Okay, nice to hear from you, mate. Nice to hear from you. Some of the comments here are getting a real bit shirty, mainly about me.
I'm not looking at them, should I?
I'm not. Well, I'm looking at the decent comments. There's some people who how about this one here? Jeff Traveller just got back from Romania. Best holiday ever. Great, Jeff. Terrific. Pleased to hear from. I thought I'd choose Romania because what it is in Britain there's some of the Thai vloggers who British guys who go out to Thailand and for a few months a year and make videos out there. But when it's low season, they tend to go other places. They tend to go places like Tenerife and Benidorm, which are all very well, but that's been done. I don't really know this in Britain. There's a lot of vloggers who seem to be going to places like Tenerife and Benidorm, and some of them do good vlogs, but they're all at it. I thought that I would do something a bit different, and that's why, because I don't see any of these vloggers going out to Romania. And that's one of the reasons I'm going there. I'm going to Romania, and I'm very pleased. I was a bit worried. I don't know what the situation, Dave, is with airport queues and all this kind of stuff and flight cancellations in the US right now. But we're getting terrible for it here. The airports are so short-staffed and the queues are horrendous. So hopefully I'll be able to breeze through it if I have my boarding pass and I'm not taking any checked-in baggage. But it's getting a week, and where's my boarding pass? So I went to a little bit of hassle, but I've got it now. Yeah.
I don't fly domestically in the U.S. anymore, but from what I've seen, thousands of flights are getting canceled daily domestically because of no pilots, no crew, no nothing.
It's all bizarre. This is the aftermath of the great pandemic. It's absolutely sounds dreadful. Steph Traveller is in the chat. Cheers, Eddie. Dave, have you seen Steph before? You have seen him?
I've watched his channel before. Yeah, I've seen him on your show. If you're going to bring him on, sure.
Yeah. Well, if he'd like to come on, we can include him later. Because I've never actually, brought a couple of guests on at the same time since they've done this StreamYard. So Steph's a cool guy. He's got that classic late night radio voice. He's a cool guy. What is this? Ernest Connell. If Bucharest is safe, all the criminals will move back. No, they won't. They won't. No, if the criminals have left Romania, they've gone to places which are richer pickings. I mean, why stay in Romania? Once Romania became part of the EU, I think a lot of the riffraff, the criminals, I think they left there. I mean, why stay in Romania and make little money when you can go to Paris and London and make big money? So the word is now that Romania is quite a safe place now.
Isn't that what they used to call the gypsies? Didn't a lot of them used to come from there?
Well, yes. That's. I think I haven't been to Romania yet. I've met Romanian people because you get a lot of them working here. In the UK, and a lot of them are really, really good people. I think there's certain villages you go in. I think a couple of years ago, I seen a report on Transylvania, and it was in a bit of a bad state, some of the villages there. Romania's been a very, very poor country. Like I said before, when various countries were on the list to join the European Union, Romania was ranked lowest. In fact, you only have to go back about 14 years, or Romanians were prepared to cling to the undercarriages of trains in order to get it themselves into the West. And now they can come freely. So hopefully a lot of the problems have sorted out. And I heard it's a good place now anyway.
Did you see that Cambodia, Phnom Penh, is going to open one of the largest airports in the world in a couple of years?
Dave, I've heard about that. I heard that, I think, for the first time, maybe yesterday on a live stream. Somebody mentioned it, and that sounds like really exciting. That sounds terrific. That sounds
all
absolutely
paid
terrific.
for by the Chinese.
Well, all right. Well, it was good until no. But yeah, you know, if you can go to Cambodia, it's a great place. The last time I was there was about 3 years ago, so I'd love to see that place again. But I have a lot of affection for Cambodia, because I got to know it well over a period of maybe 10 years. And the Cambodian people, they're second to none. They really,
I love it there too.
Yeah, they're terrific. You know, I was told not to go to Phnom Penh because it's dodgy and it's rubbish and all this. I went there and I fell in love with the place.
I've had a great time there every time.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too. Absolutely fantastic. You know, do you like the riverside bars of 104 Street and 136?
Yeah, I stay right down by the museum right there.
Oh, I know exactly. Yeah, I know exactly. Beautiful building, that beautiful building. Yeah, absolutely lovely building. You got the King's Palace just along the road from there. Wonderful place. Yeah, I had a flight booked to Cambodia earlier this year, but it cancelled. And but you know, I will return there before long.
Well, same as you. I would have went on this trip, but I just didn't want to bother with the borders and everything. You know.
Yeah, I know, and all the bloody PCR you can do without. That's the same reason I stayed in Thailand. Let's see. Isan man is here. He's from Liverpool, like me originally, and he's amazing. Amazing gold mine of information. Dinghy divers are landing on Devon beaches now, so you might find you had house guests when you get back to Romania. Do you know about this, Dave? Do you know about this? I mean, what's in the news here in England the last couple of days? Right, we've got thousands and thousands of dinghy people. They're from countries like Syria and Eritrea and all kinds of places. They're crossing the channel. It's become a dreadful problem. So our government's come up with the bright idea. Once they get here, they're going to all put them on a plane and go and ship them out to Rwanda. Do you know about this?
Well, we've got the same thing here in the Mexican border. Tens of thousands of people every day.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. But it's become a total farce. It's become a bit of a laughingstock, really, because we've left the European Union, and now a plane. But bearing in mind, something like probably about 100,000, illegal immigrants have planned on getting dinghies over there this year, and we managed to get a plane. We managed to get 7 people on the plane. And then 2 of them got taken off by cause of the boat, and then the plane got grounded. What a farce! Anyway, but we've got this terrible problem. But that's been in the news anyway. Man, dinghy divers are landed on Devon beaches now. That's got to be fun, isn't it? David Coleman's here from Toronto. He's a regular. David Coleman, Eddie, come on, tell us the truth. How much was the Thailand sandwich? The Thailand, no comment on that. No comment on that. But it was very, very tasty. That's all I'll say. Who's this? Robert Jones. Steady. Which blogger you met in Thailand was the most annoying? I'm not going to say that. All the vloggers. I met Nick Dean. I met Jim Andrews. I met Carl from Carl's Travels. I met Chad from CB Media, and I had a couple of really great nights out. They were all they were all cool. They were all really, really good guys.
I met the buzzing Pattaya guy from England.
Oh yeah.
I went to his bar and met him.
Yeah. Okay.
Trevor Knight, his name.
Yeah. I've never actually met him. I didn't actually go there. McLaren F1 race. Hey Ed, may have to leave the stream in a more personalised bid to attend to. Cheers, David. McLaren for F1 race is a regular. I have another channel as well, as you may well know, Dave. Steady Eddie Live, which and it gets less viewers than here because it's a smaller channel, but we have a great little community on a Monday, Tuesday, and maybe another weekend day, and we talk about subjects other than travel. This is travel talk here, but we talk about other subjects like the Queen's Jubilee and the Prime Minister and all kinds of stuff like that. But McLaren F1 races are regular, so nice to hear from you, mate. Anyway. Let's see. Carl Foster, not worth buying property in Thailand, just rent.
Yeah, I get it for the experience.
Yeah. I must admit, I've owned a property abroad before, David, and it was an experience, but it wasn't something I'd go. I'd probably rent if ever I moved to Thailand. I'd probably rent. I wouldn't want the hassle of all the buying process and all the other stuff. I wouldn't want the hassle anymore. I've been there, done that, and I wouldn't really want to do it again.
To tell you the truth, it was virtually no hassle at all.
Yeah. Well, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. I mean, my hassle, because I bought a place in Turkey. My hassle was really they were projected to go up massively in value, and then the Turkish lira collapsed, and it all went. And also, I realized that Turkey wasn't the right country for me anyway. Let me see now. Okay. Who's this now? What do we got here? Thailand gagged and bound. Thailand double sausage sandwich with a mayonnaise. I think we're getting a bit smutty now anyway. We're getting a little bit smutty. Let's see. J.E.'s. Hello, Steady from the States. Was in Pattaya in May. It was awesome. We'll be back in September. Okay, Dave. So, up to now, you told us what you thought of Phuket. You told us what you thought of Bangkok. Whereabouts in Bangkok, by the way, were you hanging out most? Which nightlife area?
Mainly around the Siloam area, but I did find Pattaya much more lively than Phuket.
Yeah.
The only thing that's still kind of a joke is Walking Street.
Yeah, it's sad.
And as you saw, they took on that business about burying all the cables, and now it's dragged out, and who knows when they'll finish. But the roads are a mess down there, and 60 to 70% of the stuff's still not open.
Yeah. That's absolutely 60%. Well, that's what I thought when I last seen. I mean, it's probably nervousness from the business owners, because the fact is the pandemic, it went on for 2 years. It didn't last for 5 minutes. It went on for 2 years, and I think they wouldn't want to commit to opening the place again, invest the money when there's a possibility. There's always a possibility that it might return again. I mean, I think they'd want to wait until it's just gone complete.
But I found areas like LK Metro and Tree Town. All that stuff's 100%.
Yeah, it's busy. Yeah, it's absolutely busy. It's a little bit. I mean, I like Walking Street because it's a little bit more glamorous and touristy, and that's the place that I first went to in Pattaya. Tree Town and LK Metro and Soyba Cow, they are so rough around. They're as lively as hell, but they are also, if you see them in the daytime, they're a bit great. I mean, there's still plenty of life around, but Jesus, it's not really what you would call a nice area, is it? Really? But it's but I know. Yeah, they are really, really busy. Yours travelled £8,000 in 4 months. I travelled the USA for 8 weeks, February and March. So that 8 weeks, that's 2 months. £11,000 USA. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Well, I'd like to
there
see
ain't
the
$2 beers here.
no, absolutely. £8,000 in 4 months, was good value. I didn't include the ladies in that. If you want to, disguise them, I didn't include that. I didn't include that because that's
so now
up
we're
to
talking £15,000.
No. Not at all. But let's see. Anthony Alves, hey, Steady Eddie. Now that you're home, you're getting in tip-top shape like you did. I'm going on the exercise bike for about half an hour a day. I'm doing a few press-ups, but I'm still drinking too much beer and eating too many pork pies. So here's a question for you, Dave. Ian UK. David, do you ever rent your condo out?
Not worth it. As everybody knows, things rent in Pattaya are so cheap that for the
Yeah.
couple $100 I get, ain't worth my time.
Yeah, well, that's exactly. Yeah, I mean, there's some people think it's you'll get all your money back by rent. It's not as simple as it, and tenants can be renters can be bloody unreliable. Let's see, Ernest Connell spent as much as I want. Cool. Let me see. Lewis C. I spend 500 quid a week out here. I'm 62, my best mongering days and in the past. You're talking about Thailand, and you still spend £500 a week out there. £500 a week without mongering. And is that, I assume you're talking about Thailand.
Yeah, that's not bad.
£500 is a lot of money to spend in a week if you live out
Really?
there. 500. Oh, if you live out there and you're not mongering. I mean,
Oh yeah,
presumably,
don't count. Never count the mongering.
yeah, no. If I lived out in Thailand, I would expect to spend a lot less than £500 because obviously you're not a tourist. Then if you're living out there, you're not going to be going out every night of the week and whatever. I'd expect to spend a lot less than that.
I've noticed that myself the last few years that I have to take nights off where I just don't even go out at all.
Yeah, yeah. Absolutely. Because the thing is, I mean, if you eating, you're drinking beer every single night. I mean, I drink beer here every night, but at a slower pace. David Coleman from Toronto. Thailand is 100% cheaper than Toronto, I can tell you. Yeah, I can believe that. I can well believe that. It's still a great value country. It's just not as great as it was, but it is still great value. Let me see. Gemini Star. Question, Dave. How many years have you been going to Thailand? I was going to go and grab a quick beer while you answer that one, Dave.
My first trip to Thailand was April 1999. So I guess the clock is now 23 years. I was there right when they started to open SkyTrain, if you know what that is in Bangkok. So yeah, I've been going to Thailand for quite a long time. I actually considered Thailand from the year 2000 to about 2010 to be way better than it is in the last 10 years.
Yeah, it's well, things change. Things change. Somebody once said to me, commented in one of my videos. I think I was reviewing Siam Reap in Cambodia, and I said, with regards to meeting ladies in Siam Reap, it's not as good as it was. It's not, and this guy, posted a very intelligent comment. And he said, I understand what you're saying, it's not as good as it was, but think about it. Is anything ever as good as it was? I mean, when you think about it, after you've been there so many times, it doesn't have the sparkle that it used to have. And that's I don't think anything's ever as good as it was, really. Okay, so let's Danish bacon. Get all you want for £100 a day in Thailand. Simple budgets I worked. Well, that's £700 a week. I mean,
that's a lot.
That's quite a lot, really. Oh, you can spend £100 in one day, but I wouldn't spend £100 every day. Some days you go over the top and whatever, and it depends, what your character is, really. But
typically for me, it's about $30 to $40 a day.
Yeah, absolutely. On days when I'm going to go over the top.
Ooh, you're having a Magners cider. I love that stuff.
This is bloody good. It is good stuff, David. Really, really good stuff.
Irish.
Yeah, it's nice. It's don't forget a pint of Magners cider in Pattaya or Bangkok. You're probably looking about
$10.
Yeah, exactly. So it's expensive there, but here, I've got this from Asda, local store, and it's tasty stuff. This is a dry blackthorn glass, which I don't like dry blackthorn very much, but the Magners is beautiful.
I can get Magners here. I've bought it here before, but yeah, Thailand has that bloody cider tax, and everything's so bloody cider expensive.
Yeah, absolutely. And a pint of Guinness as well. I mean, yeah. I like a nice refreshing beer when you're on a hot climate, but after a while, it gets a bit monotonous. And sooner or later, you find yourself, I'm craving, what I'd give for a nice cold pint of cider.
Yeah.
or a nice cold pint of Guinness. But they're always
Yeah.
expensive, aren't
You
they?
get tired of drinking Leo all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, it gets a bit bland. I mean, do you did you ever? What is the state now, Dave, in Pattaya, with those English pubs, Pig and Whistle and
Oh,
Rosie
the Pig and
O'Grady's?
Whistle is now called. You mean that one right there in Jomtien?
Oh no, I'm talking about the one in Pattaya. I think it's is it Soy 7 or Soy 8?
Okay, that one I don't know, but there was a Pig and Whistle near my condo on the main
Yeah,
road, but they changed it to. I used to go there once a week and get fish and chips and a Magners.
yeah,
It cost me about what 500 baht, but they changed it now. It's called something else, but I think it's all still the same.
yeah, yeah,
But the Pig
yeah,
and Whistle, that's called something else now. I saw that on somebody's YouTube channel.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It was a good bar. I mean, it was a
Mhm.
good English pub. They were those English pubs, Pig and Whistle and Rosie O'Grady's. I think
Yeah.
it's either Soy 7 or Soy 8 in Pattaya. But they were around for many, many years. And they were really nice. But you go inside there, they were lovely air conditioned, very, very plush.
I
Um,
think there's that one called Robin Hood.
there's
Is
one
that
called Robin. I've never actually, I know where that is. Is that beach? I've never actually been in there. I think it's
it's
around
that
Beach
one in
Road.
that little shopping, it's upstairs, it's on
Yeah,
that
that's
little
right. Yeah.
shopping center. They have good burgers there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'd say with a very good one in oh no, what's it? Is it Surrey 13? I stayed in a hotel there. My last hotel I stayed in Pattaya. Right across the road was the Sportsman's.
Oh
That's
yeah,
it.
I've been in there.
I had a roast dinner there, and that was beautiful. That was
Yeah.
really, really a nice roast dinner. Really good
But
dinner there.
you don't go down to Jomtien much. You have to remember my condo's in Jomtien, so I hang
Yeah,
out more down there. We've got
yeah,
Hemingways,
yeah,
Frasers, all that stuff.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, so, well, no, I've never really been there that much, really. Anyway, okay, I'll share this opinion. What do you think of this? David Coleman is from Toronto. California is a disaster. Democratic government, crime, taxes, homeless. People are leaving now. Is that true?
Yep.
Yeah. I wouldn't like to comment on it because I've never been to California, but I did say on the news. No, it was a YouTube, very interesting YouTube documentary about a lot of Californians are moving to Mexico because it's well, obviously it's a better standard of living, really.
Well, a lot of people are leaving the state, that's for sure.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
David Coleman, I don't know where he's from, but yeah, he's pretty much hit it. I mean, LA's just it's unbelievable with the homeless people now.
Really, is it?
Oh, there's thousands of them all over the place.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, every city's got them. We have them made in we have them made in the UK. We have them made, and that's a massive issue. Somebody just sent me a what do we call it here?
Where's all the super chats? I want some tips.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me see. Where are we now? Let's see. Where are we? What is it? We'll share $50 out of that $100 there because you took your hat out anyway. Okay, let me see. Now. Should we see if we can get another guest on? This always takes a while to come through. This does.
Go for it. But that English roast, or what do you call it, the Sunday roast, that thing, and that seems, I think that's more of an English thing. That doesn't, I'm not really into that. I hardly ever do that in Thailand.
Yeah, yeah. I love a nice Sunday roast. The one that I used to love, and I don't like to name names really, but the one in Soy 6, the Queen Vic. I love that place and all that, but a few years ago, now I don't know if it's changed hands. I don't know anything about that, but I did have a couple of disappointing Sunday roasts in there, and I never went in there again. I remember once how can I put it? Everyone knows what Soy 6 is about, the wonderful Soy 6. I went down Soy 6 one day, and I went into one of the bars, and I had I met a beautiful, beautiful, stunning lady, and we had our fun together. And it really put me on a massive high. It put me on a high. And I thought, life is wonderful. What life is absolutely brilliant. Life is wonderful. And then I went across the road to this English pub, and a really disappointing roast dinner. And then I left feeling, oh my God, I'm really down in the dumps. I thought, how can you go from up there 1 hour to being that's what a meal. But I've had some wonderful meals in the Queen Vic in the past. Maybe I was a little bit unlucky then. I mean, they done something quite recently, didn't they? Whether was it a big hot dog? If you can eat this big hot dog, or something. Oh, bloody.
I don't trust hot dogs in Thailand.
No, not for me, mate. Not for me.
Weren't you kind of more experimenting, eating a lot more Thai food on this last trip?
I always make the effort to try and eat a bit more Thai food, bit more Thai food. What it is, Dave, you have a few nice meals and you think, I'm going to eat more of this. This is good stuff. It only takes 1 or 2 disappointing meals and you think, oh, never again. I had some good Thai food in Pattaya. I found a couple of really good places. I went to a place called Chumpon, Chumpon on the way to the island, and that was an authentic Thai town, and it was really, I thought it was a very, very dull town, and I did have a couple of a couple of meals there, authentic Thai dishes, and it was very disappointing. So I thought that kind of put me off it, really.
See, for me, I'm 80% Thai food when I go over. I love eating Thai food.
Yeah. Mark, well, I do love some of it's lovely, but like you say, if you have a couple of disappointing meals, it's kind of puts you off. Mark Hollick, Dave, always fun landing at San Francisco. I was in San Diego and landed at the John Wayne Airport. Nice statue of him there. Yeah, I'd love to see San Francisco.
I'm 10 miles from John Wayne Airport.
Yeah, really, yeah. Really, that's terrific. I would love to see San Francisco. I'd love to see the American cities where all my favorite movies that I grew up on were filmed, and the Dirty Harry series in San Francisco, Bullet with Steve McQueen. I'd love to visit that place. Yeah, Paul Hoskin, Mr. Vulgar. I love putting one finger in the muff and one in the duff, and they say, "You dirty, dirty, dirty man." Let me see. This chat I've gone well beyond with this chat. I'm just, if I've missed anybody out, I do apologize.
I want to say something. When I was staying at my condo, I woke up a couple mornings and I had to actually pinch myself to make myself actually believe I was there after not being there for 2 years.
Yeah. Well, that's what I felt when I was having a Thai sandwich. Okay. David Coleman. Dave, how many illegals are crossing over the southern border every day?
Oh, they're breaking the records every day. I think last month they had over 200,000.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Now that's everywhere from Cali all the way down to Texas.
Yeah, we're heading that day with the dinghy divers, coming over here. I don't want to get into it too much because I've discussed it on my other chat, but I mean, we're getting thousands of these dinghy people coming on. They have the opportunity to stay in a safe country, France, but they don't want to stay there. They want to risk their lives coming across here in a dinghy, and the reason for that is because we have this very, very, very generous benefit system, and they all know about it all around the world.
It's called Joe Biden.
Yeah.
But look at it this way. These people are actually coming through Mexico. I mean, they enter and stay illegally in Mexico to get into the U.S., and the Mexican government just lets them do it.
Well, it's the same. We have the same problem with France,
I mean, but at least you're an island.
Let's see. TJ King, how about Hungary, Eddie?
I like Hungary.
You been there, yeah?
Oh, yeah, I've been there a couple times. Budapest and everything's really nice.
Yeah. It looks like a wonderful place. I had the opportunity to go to Budapest some years ago, but I opted not because I'd already seen Vienna and Prague, and I didn't really want to see something about big cities. After a while, you want to get out of them. Really,
no, it's really nice there. The food's good there. You got that Hungarian goulash.
And apparently, it's one of the best value European destinations. Yeah, really. Okay, how about Hungary? Well, I'm doing Romania for a month pretty soon. So maybe Hungary next time. I like the idea of going somewhere different. Like you say, a lot of vloggers are heading out to Tenerife and Benidorm, and they're making some very, very popular videos. But I just thought I'd be a bit braver and do something a bit different. So I don't really see many, Southeast Asian vloggers going out to Romania. So I think I'll head out there anyway.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Let's see. Fantastic wildlife. I'm heading back to Thailand soon. When do you think the 45 days in arrival kicks in?
I'm hearing it could kick in as soon as July 1.
Yeah.
Stand by on Friday when they make the announcement.
Okay, let me just do this. My guest is okay, so a second attempt. It takes a while when I send a Facebook. Oh my God, he's coming now. He's coming. Okay, my guest.
A hat?
No, this is a first day because since I've been doing the StreamYard stuff, I had this StreamYard from last September. I think it was September when I was in Greece. I thought I've got to do this. And
I'm going to change hats.
Okay, he's going to change that. And in the meantime, I'm going to bring on my other guest. Okay, we're going to have another couple of guests. Let's see. Can we add them to the stream? Here we go. My other guest. Good evening.
Cheers, Eddie. Can you hear me?
Good evening, Steph. How's it going? Nice to hear from you.
Who's that guy with that silly hat on there?
Oh, that hat. He's got another hat on it. It's David.
I would never wear a silly hat like that. It's so fucking stupid. I would never do that.
Absolutely. Hey, Steph, by the way, what's the language? You know what? I was looking through some of my old videos before. My old videos, as you do. I was just checking up on with some of the green symbol and some with the green symbol and some with the yellow symbol. And do you know something? The difference between the green symbol and the yellow symbol is quite enormous, really. So let's keep to the green symbol anyway. There's
the green symbol. I don't.
You know the green symbol, monetization.
Oh yeah. The for membership thing.
Oh, not membership, but when you monetize a video, when it's advertised.
Oh yeah. You from YouTube you get the green card or the yellow card. Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, there's a huge difference between them.
I always have yellow. Every video that I put up.
That's because you drop the occasional 4-letter word. I use words.
My last video that I put up, it was from Taco House in Pattaya. It was a restaurant review, a very clear, clean restaurant review, and it was yellow. And I asked for apply for, and they watched it, by their own eyes, and they still say it's yellow. I didn't say it was a normal video review. But the title was Pattaya Taco House. I think if they see Pattaya, it's gonna be a dirty movie, We're gonna give it yellow. We're gonna give it yellow. That's what I think they do there.
Okay, a couple of things things mentioned on the in the chat here. There's a good comment. HW Eddie, congratulations! You've been voted the fattest YouTuber. Okay, well I knew I'd come number one in something. Mark Oleg, mild temperature in Bucharest today, 68 degrees Fahrenheit right now. That sounds pleasant. Actually, in England, we're finally going to get that heat wave. We get about a 2-week heat wave a year, and apparently it's coming. Well, it looked pretty good today, so it's coming in now anyway, and I'm going to miss it. But 68 degrees Fahrenheit in Bucharest, I think it'll go up. I mean, those countries have a more reliable climate than England anyway.
Cheers, guys.
What is that?
So, Steph, in case you don't know, this is
normally I drink Geneva. Now I'm drinking vodka. Sometimes whiskey. But
Russian vodka.
yeah.
Steph, in case you don't know, introduce you. This is David Hard. He lives in California.
Yeah. I saw him
And he's
before.
just had a month in Thailand.
He's a nice guy.
Okay, and this is Steph. He's one. Now let's see. No, he is my favorite live streamer. You know, he has these late night.
Belgian. You're Belgian.
He's got this late night radio voice.
Yeah, I'm Belgium. Yeah. We speak
I've been to
Dutch,
Belgium.
French, German. Yeah.
I think that what do you call that place near that Monk and Piss?
Manneke Piss. Yeah.
Yeah, I
it's in
went and
Brussels.
saw that one time.
Oh, you saw that?
Oh yeah, I was in that Grand Plaza. That's a
yeah, it's near the Grand Plaza. Yeah.
Yeah.
But everybody says for Manneke Piss, it says it's smaller than I thought.
Yeah, it's real tiny. It's only like what?
Yeah. And they have also a female Manneke Piss. It's called Janneke Piss.
Belgium probably has the best beer.
We have a lot of beers. We have about 3,000 different beers here in Belgium.
I really like the Greek beers.
Yeah. We were discussing this the other night, weren't we, Steph? I think we all got confused. I drink Kronenberg all the time. And I'm still not quite sure which country it comes from.
France.
Kronenberg. I think it's from Denmark, Kronenberg.
Oh.
Or from...
We all have a different opinion. I think I'm always too drunk to actually bother to look at the label. Anyway, David Coleman, Romanians now live in one apartment building in Toronto and are on welfare. Oh my God almighty.
Well, Toronto's basically the LA of Canada.
Really? Is it? Yeah. Is it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I don't really know. I the city, so I can't comment on it. All I know about Romanians is that these have a terrible reputation, but some of them, I don't know. There's probably a majority of them that are decent, hard-working people, really. You know what the media is like. Fantastic. Well, I love the people of Phnom Penh. Apart from the fantastic wildlife, I love the people of Phnom Penh. Apart from the bar girl who stole my phone 2 months ago. Well, you shouldn't have given the opportunity to steal your phone, should you? You should have been more careful. Sorry to hear that anyway, mate. Cats and good coffee. Okay, let's see. Talking to somebody else. Just do a little bit of chatting when we've done that bit. We've done that bit there. Let me see. Boatmonger. Romania invaded Sweden last year. There was a beggar in front of every shop entrance. We have homeless people in England, and I don't like to say unpleasant things about them, but they're all English or from the British Islands. They're not foreigners. They're from Britain. And I don't want to go. I have some kind of controversial views about that, so I don't want to upset people by mentioning anything about that. But let me see. Let's just go on. Anyway, so Steph. Introduce Steph. How's it going, Steph? What are you up to these days?
Same as usual, I think.
Yeah.
I still think of planning something this year. Buy a ticket, but I don't know. I didn't decide where to go.
Yeah.
I don't know. Spain, Thailand, Philippines, India.
Yeah.
I have to go somewhere.
Yeah,
at least.
absolutely.
But I don't know yet, so I'm still waiting. The restrictions of traveling are not as it used to be. There's still sometimes you need a PCR test, sometimes not, sometimes this, and I'm still waiting till everything is over.
Yeah, I think the PCR test in the 80s, I think it is. We can kind of confidently say it's finally come to the end. An awful lot of people, they mentioned in this chat, they have to say, when are you going to scrap that dreaded Thailand pass? It looks like they're finally going to scrap. For me, personal opinion, I don't think the Thailand pass has been the villain all along. I don't think it's been that bad. It's those PCR tests. You've got to have them within 72 hours, and the amount of stress, having that PCR test, and that's been the real villain. That has been the real villain. I'm going to Romania next week. There's no ATK. There's no PCR. There's no
No, it's nothing.
passport case
No,
as well.
yeah.
So that's why I'm really so looking
Maybe
forward.
if you're from England, it's not the
Yeah.
Schengen zone. Is England part of Schengen, like Europe?
Well, not anymore.
No,
We're out of the European Union, aren't we?
yeah, but that's different. You have the Schengen zone,
We're out
and
of
you
the
have the
European
European Union.
And we're still being told what to do. And it was the European court who grounded that plane yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
They're
Yeah.
still stepping in and saying, you can't do this, you can't do that. Oh, my God.
Yeah,
What a
but Boris
bloody
Johnson is, yeah, he makes laws every day, you know, Boris Johnson. Like
Oh, my
like
God.
that Northern Ireland agreement. He just says, "Fuck you, Europe. Fuck you. We're gonna do what we want."
Yeah, okay. Jeff Traveller, I'm 71 and my best mongering days are ahead of me. That's what you think, mate. That's what you think. Good of you, Jeff, to think positive. Keep
Seen
thinking
him older
positive.
than that.
Was that?
Seen
Yeah,
him
oh,
older
absolutely.
than that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Do you know something? I mean, we're all. Nobody gets any younger. We're all on our way to getting old. Do you know something? I met a guy about a year ago, yeah, and he was 91 years of age, and he. I swear he was actually 91 years of age, this guy, and he was telling me. He said, I find it very difficult to get around these days. You know, I have to get public transport if I want to go anywhere. I have to get buses or I have to get taxis everywhere. I mean, you know, since I lost my driving license last year, and what? You were driving until 90 years of age? Oh my God! Oh my! I don't. Some people are more aware and all that, but if a guy's driving until 90 years of age.
My mom was driving to 86.
Really. I know. Oh, there's still people have done it. They're still probably safer than boy racers. Teenagers. I don't approve of teenagers driving. No way do I approve of teenagers driving. You've got to be realistic. When you get somebody 90 years of age who's driving, I think, oh my God Almighty! Time to take the keys off them.
I remember an old guy in a wheelchair, and he was driving every day in Soy 7, and he had an hotel there, and he had a young woman with him, like 25 years old.
Yeah.
And he was like 80 years old, on his last days, you know, in a wheelchair, coughing blood in his wheelchair. And he was driving every day through Soy 7 with his 20-year-old nurse. I don't know if it's the nurse of his girlfriend. I still remember that picture, you know, that guy. He was the most happy guy in the world, you know.
Benny Hill nurse.
Every day with his wheelchair down to Soy 7.
Yeah. As Steptoe's son would have said, "You dirty old man." That's what
you dirty old man. But he was the most happy man in Soy 7, you know.
You only
His
get
last days. He looked like he has a week to go, you know. He was.
Cats and good coffee. Lifestyle is so personal. So one person could say $500 per week is a lot of things one can buy in 7-Eleven. Another person would say it only allows. Yeah, absolutely, mate, absolutely. Here's an interesting one. Paul Hoskin. Has anyone bought a bar girl some gold like me, like he has? You ever bought gold for a bar girl?
It's usually sold the next day.
Yeah. Have you ever done that, Steph?
No. I bought some jewelry, you know, but cheap ones, you know, 30 baht in a market or somewhere.
I'll tell you what, I wouldn't buy gold for myself.
Here, this is for you, because I love you. I love you.
Yeah.
The bracelet, 30 baht. She was happy. She was happy also, you know.
Has anyone bought a bar girl some gold like me? You know what? I can be a good-natured guy. I can tip well, and I can be a good-natured guy. But if a bar girl said to me, "Buy me some gold," I'd see through her straight away. I think, you know, I've got you sussed out, baby, right now and then. You know what I mean? Not for me.
But
Let me see.
I went to Myanmar with my Thai girlfriend, and they are selling a cheap jade there. Those are the green stones, you know,
Yeah,
jade.
yeah,
It's very expensive in Thailand, and you can buy it cheap in Myanmar.
It's a lot
yeah,
of
So
fake stuff
my
there, though.
yeah, but this was real, a legit store in a supermarket and everything.
yeah.
But still, you could buy it cheap. And my Thai girlfriend, she was like businesswoman in 1 second. You know, she
Yeah.
bought for 10,000 baht jade stones, and she sold them back in Thailand for 30,000 baht.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus
She
Christ.
was, yeah, she.
Hey, I like that question.
Yeah. If you had a choice right now, where would you go to, Cambodia or Thailand? Well, let me answer first. For me, it's an easy one. I'd go to Cambodia simply because I've just been to Thailand recently, and I would like to see Cambodia again.
Me too, me too.
Yeah, absolutely. Dave, well, I want to answer that one.
Well, for me, I love Cambodia as well. I don't know if I'd want to make a whole trip out of Cambodia, but you know, I've got my condo, so I stay in Pattaya, but I certainly
Yeah.
love going up there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one thing when one trip that I've done many times in the past is a road journey from Pattaya to Siam Reap, and it takes about 9 hours or 9.5 hours if you want to be pedantic. And that is
with the van, with the
with a
minibus.
minibus. Dead easy,
Yeah,
absolutely dead easy. Minibus picks you up at your hotel
yeah.
in Pattaya.
I think it's
Drops
nice.
it off at
Yeah.
your hotel in Siam Reap about 9.5 hours overall. That's including a lengthy border crossing and getting your visa. Dead easy. An amazing amount of people have said to me, "Oh, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't. I'd rather fly there." You can
The
get to do
journey
it.
is part of the traveling also.
Yeah,
The
absolutely
journey,
wonderful.
you
Yeah,
meet people in the bus, the chickens on the rooftop, whatever.
absolutely.
It's
Do you know
it's
what?
it's funny, you know.
I'd love to do that journey again. I really would.
Yeah.
But obviously, in recent times, I mean, it's too much hassle. Well, they stopped the land borders. In fact, at this moment in time, I still don't know if it's possible to go by land.
They're
From
open now.
Are they really? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can do that. Well, I'll tell you what. If I'm out that way later this year, as I'm planning, I wouldn't mind doing that journey again. 9.5 hours. That's nothing. That's a doddle. Dead easy. You know, and it's a good, colourful journey, and I wouldn't mind doing that. So,
I
Steph,
fly every time to Phnom Penh.
yeah, but you'd have to be in Bangkok to do that, or do you go from?
I think you can go from Pattaya also. You know, they pick you up in Pattaya.
Yeah. I've been in Phnom Penh. I have flown from, and I might have done it the other way. I can't remember. From Phnom Penh to Bangkok, and that's really easy. But
It's 1 hour, huh? 1 hour flight or something. 1 hour and 50 minutes.
Yeah, but I don't always trust airplanes. You know, do you know where Big Fat Best? He's now Big Fat Best, the Travel Walrus. He's another vlogger. He had a terrible experience. He went from, and he still talks about it to this day. He had to fly from Phnom Penh with Lamai Airways to not Bangkok. I think he was going to Chiang Mai. Actually, he might have been going to Chiang Mai. A flight, and it was delayed. He was stranded at the airport for about 9 hours.
Huh.
What a nightmare that is! What an absolute nightmare that is to be stranded at an airport. I like the idea for 9 hours. I'd go by road every time because at least I know I'm going to get there. Yeah, you know. So
it's a good question from Bold Mongering. Are there sick buffaloes in Cambodia?
Yeah.
I never experienced sick buffaloes there. No.
They
have better health insurance, I think, the buffaloes.
Yeah, let's see. Who's this? Okay, let's see. Let me see.
They have sick grandmas in Cambodia as well.
What's this? Paul Hoskin. I bought a gold ring for the bar girl once. Yeah. What's the rest of the story? You never see.
Yeah, it's very informative. Yeah.
Chris Walsh. I think £100 a day for all you want in Pattaya is realistic. As you say, it's not cheap. £100 a day. Yeah, we discussed this. That's not every day. I have spent £100 in one day in Pattaya, but then the following day I spent
20.
20 or 30 pounds to make up for it. Okay, let me see. Mark Olig, R.I.P. Andrew Fletcher.
Oh yeah, Depeche Mode.
I had an idea of that. Yeah,
Oh, I see that.
yeah. He
He
died
died
Yeah,
a
a
week
week
ago.
or
Is the
ago.
singer? Is that the singer from the
Now he's a
Mode?
keyboardist.
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. I was never really into that group, but a lot of
I
people,
was.
a lot of people really like
Break the
Depeche Mode.
silence.
Yeah,
Ta, 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 ta.
yeah. Apparently,
Neverland.
they
When
were
I
really.
was in college in the 90s, I was really big into them. That's when they were like at their peak.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Just this is a super chat from a nomad overseas. €5. Ed, can you ask Steph how many cigarettes he smokes each day? It's like an opium den there. Thanks for that super chat. Anyway,
About
nomad
200.
overseas.
Mate.
200.
Yeah, my
200.
cigarette filters. Do you see them? My cigarette
Wow.
Steph, this is an interesting conversation, right? People are often saying to me, Fitter, I've never heard of them. All right. People often say to me, how can you afford all these hours go away for months? It's not what I do. It's quite often it's what I don't do. I don't smoke. I've never smoked. There are people here in England who spend thousands and thousands of pounds a year on cigarettes. So by not smoking, and I just never had any desire
I
to.
know. I should stop.
Yeah, but well, what are
yeah.
you spending on booze, Ed?
I spend a lot of money on booze. Yeah, I do spend money on booze. You know, you got to do something, haven't you?
Yeah,
Steph,
booze. I think booze. I spend more money on booze than cigarettes, to be honest. Yeah. But
Steph,
cigarettes are very expensive in England. It's double
Yeah.
the prices in Belgium.
really, are
Yeah,
they?
yeah.
So a
Much more
quick
here.
question. You don't have to answer this, Steph, but over the course of a typical year, what would you spend on cigarettes?
Yeah, how much I spend?
How much is a pack of cigarettes in England?
34, maybe 40 euros a week.
€40 a week. So that's about €2,000 a year.
Maybe 50 euros, 40, 50 euros. Yeah, times 50. That's 2,500 euros a year.
That's what Dave spent on his holiday.
2,500 euros. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot, isn't it? I mean, I'd say the only time I ever smoked was when I was a little kid, about 11 years of age. You know, I started smoking because when you're 11, you think, oh, I've got to try this, and I seem to have no problem going into a shop and buying cigarettes. Yeah, with my pocket money, and I bought cigarettes, and I don't think I smoked them properly. And then one day I thought, I'll go and get some. I thought, no. Well, what's the point? I'll go and buy comics instead, the Beano and the Dandy and all that exciting stuff that I can laugh at. And you know what? That just killed me. I just never smoked since. Never
You
smoked
still call
since.
them bags?
Yeah. Fags, yeah. Oh, that's such a common word, that. That's such a common word, I'd tell you what.
Not in the U.S.
Facts. Yeah, facts.
I'd tell you what, the people who call them fags, they tend to be bums who want to borrow fags from somebody else. Hey, mate, have you got a fag, have you? They tend to be bums who've got no money who do that. I don't go for. I've just never actually had any desire. Never had any desire to.
Well, a pack of smokes on the U.S. averages $8, $9, $10 a pack, depending on where you are.
So is that 10 or 20?
10.
Yeah, now that's very expensive. I hear from people, maybe someone in the chat can tell us this. I hear that a pack of 20 cigarettes, and I know plenty of people who smoke 20 cigarettes a day. A day, some more than that.
At least.
A pack of cigarettes, 20 cigarettes a day, very
My
expensive.
dad used to smoke two or three packs a day. Yeah.
In Belgium, it's like 6, 7 euros for 20 cigarettes.
Yeah.
But if you buy a pack of 30, you pay like 10 euros.
Yeah. I'm gonna. I'm gonna. Apologies, by the way, if I'm skipping the chat because I know we're down in the chat, so it's a bit much. But somebody called Mr. 10 to 16 pound in the UK for 20 cigarettes.
Really? Wow.
Well, off the top of my head,
Yeah.
that could be £100. That could be £5,000 a year. If you were to set
But I make my cigarettes myself, from tobacco. I do it in the filter holes, and then I have a click-clack machine, and I make my own cigarettes. So it's cheaper. But if I bought normal cigarettes, in a package, I would pay double also. Yeah.
I've just never seen any reason for it. David Coleman, I don't smoke, never, no drugs. In 1 year, I saved enough for a pre-owned Rolex. Good for you, mate. Good for
Me too.
Who's
I have my Rolex here, if you can see it.
A Rolex, yeah?
Yeah, but I bought it in Thailand, this one.
Yeah.
But it works perfect. It works perfect. Keeps time.
I've never owned a watch for donkey's years because you got this. I don't do jewelry. I just don't do jewelry. You got the time
nice
anyway.
one. It's a submarine. It's like 7,000 euros if you buy it original.
Yeah.
But if they steal this watch, I only lose like 3,000 baht.
Is that battery or?
No, it's automatic, mechanic.
Yeah, because I bought a Rolex in Thailand 20 years ago, and the old ones were really good.
They have the batteries, but they are not the real ones, of course. But these are good quality watches. Yeah, but you pay about 3,000 baht.
Yeah.
Only in Thailand. This is a question. Not a question. I was in the first year one of my class at 11. Teacher caught me and clipped me around the ear. For smoking, yeah. 1 week later, he stopped me in the playground and said, "Have you got a spare ciggy?" Bloody diabolical. Let's see. Yours travels £13 on average for 20 in the UK, and you pay to stink. So that's about £100 a week. It's around about £100. That's £5,000 a year on cigarettes. I'll tell you what, for £5,000 a year, you can have a lot of traveling for that. You can do a lot of traveling on £5,000 a year. So,
but you will monger more, so you spend your money on girls more.
Yeah.
So in the end, your money is lost anyway,
Yeah.
But you have more fun. Yeah.
It's Dave Bo stuff. I think he means Steph. Just Steph and Ed. Do you think either of you will ever wear a wedding ring? How do you know I haven't got one on now? Okay, not on the hands, but I might have it on my private part.
I can make one if you want,
Yeah, Steph's going to make a wedding ring.
I'm going to make myself a wedding ring, yeah. Put a ring on it, voila.
Oh, Steph, that is so romantic. That is good for you, mate.
So romantic, yeah. My wedding ring, yeah.
Canary spreads his wings. Wouldn't wear a nice watch in Thailand, but our girl would want it. Yeah, sounds about right, mate. In Cambodia's notorious, but I mean, a good friend of mine who's been out to Cambodia a lot of time. He likes to wear a nice watch and some nice, rings and the odd gold chain, and it's not really advisable there. It's because I think Cambodia, it's not like Thailand. It's okay if you've got nothing worth stealing, like me. When I walk around, I'd never have jewelry or I look scruffy, so it's never a problem. But when I first went to Cambodia, and I've been to Thailand and Vietnam many times, and when I first booked to go to Pattaya, to Cambodia, I was told by the girl in the booking office in Pattaya, be safe in Cambodia. Cambodia is not like Thailand. And I do remember she said that. I've never had a problem there, but if you walk around there with jewelry, you do run a big risk of having it stolen.
There's a rash of ladyboys in Pattaya stealing gold chains from the Indian tourists recently.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, well, really well. I'd say lady. I mean, I don't know too much about ladyboys. Regardless of what you've heard, okay, I don't know anything about. But I remember I stayed in one hotel in Pattaya, and on the lift, it was a nice hotel. On the wall of the lift, there was a sign saying, "Travelers, tourists, be aware there's a group of ladyboys going around on motorbikes, and what they're doing, they're putting this kind of drug on their nipples, yes?
That's
And they're
correct.
enticing you to, you know, to lick it off, and then they're drugging you and robbing you. So, I mean, don't, you know, if a ladyboy offers you
Why want you want to lick a nipple of a ladybug?
Steph, there's plenty you would. There's
They're
plenty you
looking
would.
more than that.
Yeah, but
Absolutely.
if they want, they could make money in another way. They could have
Yeah.
sex with that guy. Yeah.
There's plenty of guys who would want to lick a ladyboy's nipple. Steph, let me see how creative of you. Now that is a way.
That's
a
my
guy,
nose ring. My nose ring. Yeah, sorry.
you know, so you know, a guy cannot deny that he's married if he's got a wedding ring through his nose. Good for you, mate. Okay, let me see. Let me see. Okay.
Oh dear. Oh
We're
dear.
going to nick down a Kipax. I wear an Oris watch, and I would take it to Thailand, but not Mexico or Brazil. Okay, good for you.
Yeah, never
Ball
bring your
baby.
expensive watches to Thailand or on holiday. You know,
Yeah, no.
it's
But
stupid.
Bottle baby, you don't feel safe in Cambodia, even Siem Reap. Well, no. I've been to Siem Reap many times, and I love it. I felt perfectly safe there. Not a
I've
problem.
never
But
felt
then,
unsafe.
but then I don't have anything worth stealing. You know, I don't walk around with jewelry. You know, hanging. You know, yeah. You know, I don't even have a ring through my nose. Let's see, bottle baby, nipple drugs come in flavors. Okay, very nice to hear that. Mark Oleg, cheers. Nice, good to hear from you, Mark. Glad you're still here, Mark. Always a pleasure to have you there. Gemini Star, Paul Smith, the jury is still out on that one, fella. I don't see that. I've caught up with the chat anyway. So if you guys want to take over for a few minutes, it's Squeaky, the legendary Squeaky Door time. Back in a minute.
So this hat is from Indonesia. This is a Muslim prayer hat I bought down there.
Mm. Yeah.
So I can't remember if Ed said he's been to Indonesia or not, but I was telling him to go. Have you been down to Jakarta or anything?
No,
Well,
not
it's worth a
Singapore,
trip down there.
not Indonesia. Maybe I would go to Malaysia or something.
I find Malaysia much boring compared to Indonesia.
But I don't like those Muslim countries. You know, if you do something wrong, you know, they
Yeah,
chop
but
off your
Malaysia-
hands, they throw you in jail, they kill you.
Malaysia is
I'm
more
not a
Muslim than
fan of
Indonesia.
that.
They're much more strict.
If in Singapore, if you throw a bubble gum on the streets, you can be jailed for 20 days.
That's correct.
In Singapore,
don't buy
it's
gum.
crazy. Yeah. I don't want to walk there like, oh my God, you have to swallow my gum now, otherwise.
But you can't even buy it. It's banned.
Gonna-
You have to turn it all in the airport when you land.
Really, bubble gum.
Yeah, they have all the little boxes. They deposit all gum here.
Oh my God.
But I've been to Singapore several times, and it's worth a visit. Nice food, very expensive.
Once I've been pulled by Thai police when I go back to Thailand and in the immigration, and they saw some kind of attack weapon in my suitcase, and they couldn't figure out what it was. They thought it was a ninja weapon. Say you cannot put this in your suitcase. And I said, it's a can opener. Look, you turn it like this and you can open the can. It's not a weapon. Oh, sorry, sir. Oh, sorry, sir. You can go on. They thought it was a ninja weapon.
Huh.
Oh, I
It's a
missed that,
fucking-
Dave.
It was a
Sorry,
fucking
Steph.
can opener. Yeah, it's
Okay,
okay.
oh, yeah. Steph, sorry, Dave, I missed that. That's from Indonesia, that hat.
Yeah, it's I just bought it. $2.
Yeah. Okay, well, it looks very nice. It looks like if it was red, it would look like a Tommy
A
Cooper.
Fez. No, I got
Yeah,
one of those.
Tommy
too.
Cooper.
That would be for the next show.
Just like that. Just like that.
If
No like
if you
that.
would die, if you would die now on a panel, it would be like Tommy Cooper, you know.
Yeah, apparently he died on the stage, yeah.
Yeah, he died on the stage. Yeah.
Yeah, Gemini Star. Dave, very interesting hat collection you have. Yeah, absolutely. You've had a Finnish hat, a Russian hat. You know, Let me see now. Let me see. Kipax, David Coleman. Yes, David, not Rolex level, but still a well-made watch. Yeah, and there's a good bit of positivism. Mr. L, the guests are great. Okay, terrific, Mr. L. I'm glad that you're enjoying the show. Because at the end of the day, I mean, do you have any late night talk shows on YouTube in America, Dave?
No, I don't. You know,
We
I'm not into
do.
it.
We do here. We have talk radio, and I mean, some of these well-established, DJs who are now on YouTube doing this stuff. Oh my God, it's fairly abysmal. They're so dull. At least we're offering something a little teensy-weensy bit better. Nice of you to comment anyway, mate.
I guess people wanted the Soviet one back, so there you go.
Oh, yeah. That's nice. That is cool. That's a cool hat. That was a cool hat. Bottle Baby. I tested the crosswalk fine across the 7-Eleven of my hotel in Singapore. Was mobbed by hookers. Not robbed by hookers, mobbed by hookers. Well, being mobbed by them, I mean,
there's a huge amount of ladyboys in Singapore from Thailand.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, they work down there.
Yeah. Well, obviously, maybe there's more money then. Anyway, there's more money. Everyone.
Is this a German hat or?
No, this is Soviet. This is Soviet general.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Let's see. Paul Smith, Bald, if wrong, please come. But they don't have man-eating. Don't they have man-eating snakes in Bali? Do they have man-eating snakes in Bali? I've been to Bali. And
pythons.
Yeah, but really, yeah, I've never seen
anacondas.
I would have liked to have seen a python in Bali. At least it would have livened things up a little bit for me there. How about the rest of Indonesia, Dave? What did you think of that?
Well, I've been to Jakarta and I've been to Bali. I'd much rather. I mean, there's nothing wrong with Bali. It's just overridden with tourists.
Yeah. I went there in the month of January. And it was a lot of rain there, and probably not the best way of seeing. Oh God, those beaches, some of those beaches were filthy. There's all the rubbish washed in, all the plastic and absolutely awful. And I thought the attitude of the place was very, very different than what you get in other south. The likes of Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand. Those people are really, really friendly. In Bali, I didn't rate the people as highly there.
Well, it seems to be like a backpacker destination for us young Australians.
Yeah. Canary spreads his wings. Why did you not like Bali, Eddie? Well, if you go deep down on my list, there's a couple of videos where I'm explaining about Bali and parts 1 and 2, and those videos are entitled "Bali Sucks." So go deep down on my list, and you'll soon see. Anyway,
but Jakarta's worth going down to. There's a lot of partying in Jakarta.
Is it a good city? Is it a city? Is it a big, grimy, chaotic, unappealing city?
Just like Bangkok.
Is it really like Bangkok? I mean, grows on you.
Mm-hmm.
Can you get around Jakarta easily?
No, it's not like Bangkok. You take these taxis down there called Silver Birds, but they're pretty legit.
Are they okay? Yeah. So, because I was actually, I've never been to Jakarta. I was looking at that, but it's predominantly, I don't want to sound unpolitically correct. Is it predominantly a Muslim place?
Yeah, it's Muslim, but they're a lot more relaxed than they are in Malaysia. Malaysia is much more strict Muslim country.
Yeah.
Like no affection outside. They have religious police going around, all that kind of stuff. Jakarta's much more lenient.
Well, I'll tell you something. I went to Malaysia, and I found I was not keen on it. I went to Kuala Lumpur and Penang, and I didn't really think they were as friendly as other Southeast Asian countries that I've been to. And in Bali, I didn't care, but I would give Indonesia to go. I mean, other than Jakarta, would you be interested in any of the islands around there?
Well, the place you're supposed to go to in Indonesia, and I wanted to go there, but I never got the time, was Borobudur. That's kind of like their Siem Reap. It's got the big temple there, like Angkor.
Yeah.
So I want to go there. I will go there. I ran out of time when I was there before. But that's the place you want to go.
Really, and they have it. I know that Bali, maybe the rest of Indonesia, has a different climate than the rest of Southeast Asia. I mean, in Southeast Asia, you've got like maybe November to March is the real, almost guaranteed dry, sunny weather. Whereas in Bali, it's very different. Am I right in thinking that Indonesia?
It's pretty tropical there the whole time.
Yeah. I'd still like to see some of the islands.
Remember, Indonesia is huge. I mean, it covers a lot of time zones.
Yeah, I'd be interested in that country. What are some of the, other than Bali? What are some of the other islands which are really interesting? Borneo, yeah.
But that's a gigantic island. I mean, but Indonesia has thousands of islands. But in terms of like these tourist islands, I mean, I don't really know that much about them.
Yeah. Is the one called? I'm probably pronounced this one. Is it called Saranac or Sarawak? Saranac.
Yeah, I think that's one of them down there.
Yeah. Can you go from another country and I don't know. Maybe what are the countries? Southeast Asian countries. Is it possible to get a boat from another Asian country and travel there?
I flew down from Bangkok, so I don't know about. I think the boat. I mean, it's a 4-hour. I don't think you'd want to take the boat. It'd take a long time.
Maybe, I'm thinking of maybe Malaysia. I'm getting my geography mixed up here.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe from Malaysia to there. But I've looked at the map. I was looking at the feasibility of getting a boat from that country to Saranac.
No,
I would, Dave. I would like to. Only place I've been there is Bali, and I wasn't impressed with it. But I would like to see some of the other places. I mean, I would like to see it. Funny enough, I was looking at flights there quite recently, and they've gone a bit expensive. But I don't know. It could still be on the list.
Just go down from Thailand, AirAsia.
Yeah. I would do, but I mean, the thing is, we need to get rid of all these pieces. How is the PCR situation in Indonesia at this moment in time?
I don't know.
No, because they would have real problems.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to when all of that, antivirus, PCR, ATK, passenger locator, it's all a thing of the past, so I can get out and see some of the places.
Because now you got to have your monkeypox vaccine.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Don't any of that. Yeah, here's a couple of. Let me see. Here's a couple of interesting.
We have now a summer wave from COVID now here in Belgium. I don't know if you have it in England also.
No,
so we're going to a new peak, but the peak is not so high as the previous years. It's a smaller.
So some people are saying that on the news. They're saying that the numbers are rising again.
Yeah, they're rising again. Yeah.
But everything's back to normal. I mean, no one's bothered about it here in England right now. Yours travels. Manila seems to be very popular at the minute, guys. Do you know what? I went to Manila a couple of years ago, and I liked it. I really, really liked it. Some good places in Manila. I really liked it.
There's the one place that I really don't care for is the Philippines.
Really?
Yeah.
Me neither. I don't know why. I've never been there. I would want to go there, with a friend, a chaperone or something.
I've been there, but to me, you always got to be looking behind you in Manila and all that stuff.
Well, I've been to the Philippines twice. The first time was almost 20 years ago, and the second time was about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And when I went there about the first time many years ago, I'd already been to Thailand, Vietnam, various other places, and I went to Malaysia as well, which I didn't like very much. And then I flew to the Philippines, and I must admit, all those years ago when I went to the Philippines, I found it to be highly, highly dodgy. I mean, I spoke to expats, the people that you will listen to, some intelligent people. They said, when you're walking around with that backpack on, they'll surround you in a bloody shopping mall and put a knife in your side, and they'll cut the straps of it. It really quite frightened me. It disturbed me. It did seem to me that the threat of violent mugging, was a very, very real thing there. Now, when I went there a few years ago, a lot of that's cleared up. because they have cleared up a lot of the street crime, but there is still the case that you will run into some very, very aggressive people.
Put it this way: when I was there, the hotel manager was murdered. When we were having breakfast.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, that's dreadful. That is dreadful. That's dreadful. I mean, I think I've done a video in the past about street hassles in Thailand, Cambodia, and the Philippines, and I did say that to quote an English phrase, the Philippines is a different kettle of fish. I had a couple of incidents in the Philippines which I thought that wouldn't happen in Thailand. That is a level of aggression that I've never seen in Thailand.
Right.
So you do have to be careful, but you shouldn't let that put you off as long as you're a bit careful. I thought Manila was a really good place. I did enjoy Manila. Really enjoyed it.
I'm not afraid to go there. I've been there before, but I just found that I'm much more uneasy there than I am in Thailand.
Yeah, that's about it. That's a good way of phrasing it.
Me too. Yeah.
Absolutely. Dave Bull, flying to Bangkok next week, then Samui, and I'll be checking out the Islander. Oh, the Islander in Koh Samui, the Islander. That's in Chuang. That's a really, really, really good bar where it's an entertaining place, nice music, lovely atmosphere, and the Islander. I had some lovely meals there, some lovely, lovely roast dinners. Good place.
Yeah, but isn't Samui really, really dead right now?
It probably will be now because you're in the rainy season now, and it's if you go along Chuang Beach and at that place called Lamai, which I only went there for one night. It's not as lively as it should be. These places are going to take a long time to recover, to get back to what they were. But,
what is that backdrop there? Just came over. Does that say Dream Boy or something there?
Where's this?
That backdrop that just came up.
Oh, and Steph there. Steph's
no, it's a gold shop. It's a gold shop.
Oh, okay.
Steph is a wizard with the
Dream Boy. I thought you were referring to me, the Dream Boy.
Yeah,
I've seen some of those bars down there.
No, it's a gold shop. I think it's in Soybuco.
Yeah.
Not sure. I think it's Soybuco. Yeah.
Anyway, Dave Bull, have a great time in Bangkok and Koh Samui, and check out the island. Lovely, really, really good restaurant. Really good, lovely roast dinners there. Let me see. Who's this now? Bald Mongerin, gorilla in Manila. Yes. Okay. Yogi Bear, Bald Mongerin, the son of the old dictator.
Yeah, he's gonna run.
Is he really? Really? The son of the old dictator, Marcus, is now in power. He's not in power. He's not.
But he's going to run for election for president.
Really?
I heard he's gay too.
Oh my God. Oh well. That's it. I'll be bugged if I'm going there. Oh my God. Jeez, we don't want any of that. I mean, it's okay making gayness legal as long as he doesn't make it compulsory. Okay. Anyway,
it's obligated to be gay now.
Duterte's out. His term's up.
Yeah, Bald Mongerin. What happened to Duerte? He's still there, as far as I know.
He's done. He's done.
Really?
His term is up.
Is it really? I haven't been following it, but it's interesting. Let's see. Paul Smith. Is it true that crimes against foreigners are higher in Thailand than the Philippines? It wouldn't surprise me, mate. Wouldn't surprise me. Let's see. Marcus Jr. won the election.
There you go.
So they've had you, and I've missed it.
I thought they had it when I was in Thailand. I thought he won.
Oh, really? Yeah. I didn't know. I have not seen any of this on the news. Where have I been? I've missed this. Jim Collins has been elected, fellas. Really? Yeah. I didn't know that.
His mom's still alive. Imelda Marcos. She came out for a rare appearance to support him.
Oh my God! I mean, she came out for a rare appearance. Did it take her about 10 hours to decide which pair of shoes she was going to wear? She's got to collect
the same age as the Queen.
Jesus, my God Almighty! I
Leave
didn't know.
sexuality out of it. They're doubting about my sexuality. Can you believe that?
Who's
And
this?
the other guy above me is wearing a police hat, and they doubting about my
What are
sexuality.
you talking about? This is a command hat.
This is YMCA, and they are doubting about my sexuality.
Mark
this
Owen,
is
Tunis Pride Month here in the US. Well, that sounds good. I mean, they have a Pride Month I think they got one in the UK as well.
Oh, they had that I got caught in that in Bangkok. It was in Bangkok the day I was there. Huge pride parade.
the village people, yeah.
Yeah, whatever. I'll tell you what. I was in Bolivia once. I was in a town in Bolivia. Was it Sapiza, one of those towns? I was in a town in Bolivia, and all of a sudden they had a big carnival going through, and it was really, really, really good fun to watch it. And then they had one little section of the carnival where guys were dressed like the village people. One of them had a workman's hat on, and they were like the village people. I couldn't resist shouting, "It's fun to stay at the YMCA."
CA.
So they're talking about Dream Boys and everything in the chat. What's up with that?
Yeah, I think we are the Dream Boys.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Okay. It is a commentary for Ed Sweeney's 20 Stone White back in England. Okay. And the comment is
25 now.
The comment is Steph likes Willie.
Yeah, I like that
Steph.
movie. Free Willy. I like that movie.
Steph. Ed Sweeney's 20 Stone Wife is saying Steph likes Willie. Steph, have you been shagging my 20 Stone wife behind my back?
I can't. How much is 20 stone? How much kilograms is that?
200 pounds, right?
Oh my God! No, I didn't.
280
Oh
pounds. My God! Oh,
no, I didn't shag it.
That's right.
Steph, you've been shagging my 20 stone wife because she absolutely. Steph, you can have her. You can have her. I can offload it onto you. Okay, I can offload it onto you.
20 stones. Yeah. I can throw 20 stones at her, or what is it?
No, I don't have any. I don't do any YouTube.
Yeah, Steph, do you know where I live? I see lots of guys who go to the gym and keep themselves fit, and they're knocking around with 20 stone women. I think it's not a case of what's she doing with them, and what's he doing with her. Mr. L, loving the stream, guys. What is the name of Steph's channel? Also, does Russian Dave have a channel?
I'm actually Ukrainian, not Russian.
Oh, he's Ukrainian, really?
Mm-hmm.
So, well, all I can say is I wish them the best. I wish them the best. I really, really do, Steph. Sorry, I really, really do. Dave.
No, my channel name is just simple, Steph Traveler. Yeah,
Steph Traveler. Okay, yeah. Steph Traveler. Okay, tune into Steph Traveler.
There's only one. You cannot miss it.
Here we go. Ed Sweeney's 20 stone white back in England. Yes, he's been parking me on the sly. Steph, you jammy bastard. You jammy bastard. I won't ask what she shouts out in the middle of it, Okay.
I heard she went to Kenya or something, like a cougar.
No, she went.
She's a wonger now in Kenya,
but what it is, my 20 stone wife, she was going to Gambia for years with the girls. Yeah, we're going to Gambia.
Yeah, with the girls, yeah.
She kept saying to me, "I'm going out there for the weather." I didn't know she was having it away with loads of bloody young Gambian.
Yeah, the Beach Boys on the beach of Gambia. Yeah.
David Coleman and Walter Marcus loved their shoes, all 500 pairs of them. Oh my God Almighty! Mark Alex Singeretti, cheers, Mark. Great to hear from you, mate. I'd love you to come on the show once. Sometime, Mark. I really, really would. You'd be most welcome. Ed Sweeney's 20 stone white back in England. I'm only 19 stone after all the lovemaking Steph has been giving me. Oh, it's all
putting that up.
It's all coming out now, the dirty, sweaty bits. Oh, let's see. Yeah. But isn't it interesting? What Mark Oleg, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far, far away. Obviously, that's Star Wars. That. Now, I wonder. Do you ever follow British politics? today we've got Boris Johnson, Coco the Clown. They had question time in the Houses of Parliament, and opposite them was Keir Starmer, who's the opposition leader, and it looks a bit like Barney Rubble. And he thought he was being clever by using lots of Star Wars analogy. He was claiming a prime minister. I think he said something like he thinks he's Luke Skywalker, but really he's Jabba the Hutt.
I thought Boris Johnson was just Donald Trump Jr. Wasn't that what they were calling him?
Oh, absolutely. This is the Houses of Parliament. This is the kind of talk that goes on in the Houses of Parliament, the institution that is running our country. Oh, my God. He's using Star Wars. I think Keir Starmer said something like to Boris, like, the Force is no longer with you. Oh, my God. Bunch of clowns. Bunch of clowns. Do you like Star Wars anyway?
I went to the first one when it opened. I'm a fan of them, yeah.
Yeah, I like the Star Wars. I must admit, I like the Star Wars movies. I tend to watch Netflix and Amazon now, but my DVD player broke and I haven't managed to replace it. But I've got a big collection. I watch the Star Wars. At the end of the day, they're so spectacular. They're so spectacular when you see them on a big screen or even a big TV set. They're quite spectacular. Yeah, I like them.
Remember it was filmed in the UK.
What I've never ever understood with the first Star Wars movie, I've never understood this. It was filmed in the UK.
Pinewood Studios.
Yeah. And the question is why? Because in the 1970s, the tax system was notorious in Britain. And a lot of American filmmakers flatly refused to film in the UK because they were earning nothing. So I've never really understood why that was.
You had a lot of English actors in that movie.
Alex Higgins and not Alex Higgins. He's a snooker player.
Alex Higgins, the droid. They were all English. Anthony Daniels. I heard there was a bunch of a bunch of union fights during that filming. Yeah. It's strange though that was filmed in Britain at a time when a lot of the great British actors and rock stars were leaving Britain in droves. The Rolling Stones,
me too.
The Rolling Stones. Michael Caine left Britain. Michael Caine was the one who expressed his guilt in the 70s. I remember an interview he gave in a paper. And he just said, "My beloved England, I hate to leave my beloved England." The tax was something like 98%. They were earning nothing. They were earning bloody nothing. It was crazy. It was crazy. I remember a great filmmaker called John Frankenheimer, one of America's finest film directors. I don't know if you've heard of him. He was very hostile towards Britain. He said, "I refuse if I have to shoot a scene in Britain, I'll send a second unit there." He refused flatly to have anything to do with Britain, and he made it clear he didn't want to work with British people anymore. The tax system was ruthless there. But anyway, we're going off the.
And Eddie keeps on talking. He keeps on talking.
Well, once you get me on the subject of movies,
he talks like it's his channel here. It's his channel. Yeah, it's his channel.
Bald mongering. Oliver Reed never left England. A true gent. Maybe because he couldn't get the alcohol that he wanted anywhere else.
Benny Hill never left England.
Benny Hill never left his little apartment in Teddington Studios.
That's
Benny
right.
Hill was. I seen a documentary about Benny, and he was a wonderful comedian. He was unique because he had his TV show was his whole life. But apparently, he lived in a very, very basic, very, very sparsely furnished apartment that was close to Teddington, within walking distance of Teddington Studios. And his TV show was his whole life. Quite rightly so, really.
And
I mean, some people believe.
I love to watch Benny Hill. Benny Hill was great. I always watch it in the case I could see a boob. Because I was like 12, 13 years old and I want to see a boob. I'm gonna watch Benny Hill.
Same as me. I grew up watching Benny Hill.
Oh, he was wonderful. I mean, because the thing is, in the 1970s, we only had 3 TV channels in the UK before Channel 4 came along. We had BBC One, BBC Two, and ITV, and the quality of TV was great. But each each TV show had massive ratings because we didn't have internet, we didn't have YouTube then. We just had 3 TV channels, and they
Yeah,
all
yeah.
finished at midnight.
Same as in Belgium, we had only one TV
Yeah,
channel in the
yeah,
70s, and then later
yeah.
a second, and then in the 90s a third one.
Really, I
That's
didn't know.
it. Yeah.
No. We used to envy America because we heard stories about Americans having 100 TV shows, or but the thing is, because we only had 3 TV shows, you savoured everything, and for that 1 hour a week, usually Wednesday night at 8 o'clock, when Benny Hill was on, that was a golden hour, and you just didn't want it to end.
Well,
Because
remember that movie European Vacation where they went over to England and the kids were in the hotel and they said they've only got 3 TV channels here and no MTV.
I haven't seen that movie. Which European Vacation? I've not seen that one.
That's part of the vacation, the Chevy Chase.
Chevy Chase, yeah.
Oh, Chevy Chase.
Yeah, and the second movie was called European Vacation, and they won a trip to Europe on a game show.
Yeah. Did you like Chevy Chase?
He was okay. He turned into kind of a weirdo when he got older.
Yeah. He kind of looked like a chipmunk, didn't he?
Yeah, he started on Saturday Night Live. He was the first one to leave to start his acting career.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, but he got a lot of people were upset with him because he got very arrogant when he was on Saturday Night Live, and a lot of people were happy he left.
Yeah, really.
But he left to go do those vacation movies.
Yeah. Lampoon.
National Lampoon.
Yeah, that, yeah. I watched the movie from Steve Martin, Roxanne, where he had a long nose and he fell in love with a woman there.
Yeah.
It's
I like Steve Martin. I like. Yeah. I mean, some of the American, the famous film comedians of the '80s. I wasn't that keen on, but Steve Martin, wonderful. Funnily enough, the other week I watched Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Oh, I love that movie.
Steve Martin and Michael Caine, wonderful movie, wonderful, great stuff. Absolutely. I mean, they made a perfect combination. I think
you can watch that movie over and over.
Yeah. It's just a perfect thing to watch late at night, and what's late at night. It's so easy to watch, but you can't not like that film, really.
That little town Beaumont-sur-Mer where they based their little operation.
But bald mongering. Ollie died in Malta in a pub called The Pub. Well, Oliver Reed, I think he was only about 60, or he might have been 61 at the time. He always said he was going to go that way. He was going to die getting drunk in a pub, and that's exactly the way that he went. I think actually he died. He was actually filming Gladiator at the time. He had a part in Gladiator, didn't he? That movie, and I think he died during the movie. And I don't know if they had to re-edit some of his scenes, but apparently, what I heard. He was very, very social guy. He met up with a bunch of lads in this bar, and they challenged him to a drinking match and an arm wrestling match. And Ollie was Ollie, and he drank so much, his bar bill was huge, and then he took a heart attack. At least he had an amazing life. A very, very charismatic actor, Oliver Reed. Very, very charismatic. I think one thing I did read about Oliver Reed. One thing he regretted is that later on in his career, his life, he became more famous for being a drunk rather than a serious actor. And he was a great actor. He was a fine actor. So just as I mentioned that anyway.
What about this Lawrence of Arabia? That whole thing seems to be overrated to me.
That movie, Lawrence of Arabia.
Yeah, I just watched a thing called The Making of It, and they seem to put such a big deal about that actor,
Peter O'Toole.
There doesn't seem to be that much there to me.
Yeah, he's a fine actor, but he wasn't one of my favorites. He wasn't one of my favorite actors. I think he lacked the charisma of some of the other actors who were around. He didn't have the charisma of Michael Caine or Richard Burton. Not everybody liked those actors, but they certainly had charisma. Peter O'Toole, a fine actor, but he wasn't one of my favorites. And that movie, great movie, but once you've seen it, you've seen it. You've seen it.
Yeah. They say also Leslie Nielsen was funny.
Oh, yeah, he's American.
Yeah, I
Let's
liked it
see.
also.
Mark Ollig. I love Benny Hill and the Yakety Sax team. Brilliant, classic.
That was the opening and closing.
Brilliant
Yeah.
stuff.
I
Brilliant
thought they
stuff.
called that Colonel Bogey.
Colonel
That song.
Bogey.
Mhm.
Who was that? I'm not familiar with that one.
That thing with that Benny Hill playing with the wah, 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 wah. I thought that was called Colonel Bogey.
I think it was the Yakety Sax thing because you can
Is that
actually
right?
get it. You can actually get that on the. Funnily enough, do you know what I actually heard that once? I mean, it's strange when you travel the world and you hear the strangest things in the strangest places. I was wandering through a town. I think it was in Sucre in Bolivia one night, and the house in there was some market stalls there, and one of the market stalls was blasting out that Benny Hill theme music in the middle of Bolivia.
He usually played that when he was running around in a wheelchair or something with the nurse chasing him.
Yeah, wonderful stuff. Wonderful
But
stuff.
he played also in that train station soaps, Benny Hill, with Mr. Beach or
He was in
something.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Mr. Beach, or was it
He
called?
was in one of the best British films ever, The Italian Job, with Michael
Oh.
Caine. Benny Hill played the part of the crazy
Really?
professor. Yeah,
Really?
yeah. Benny Hill
It
was
was a
in
good
that one.
movie. Italian Job,
Mike-
yeah. It was with those mini cars, minis.
Oh, wonderful movie, brilliant. One of those films I could watch over and over again. But Bobby, Benny Hill played a crazy professor who was in a home. He was obsessed with big, large ladies, you know. And what did he say? Like, you know, if I place this mirror on top of that pole, I can see into matron's bedroom. Matron's big. She's big. You know, absolutely crazy. Bobby
I think
Crush.
they remade that movie.
He made that movie.
No, The Italian Job. Didn't they remake it a little while ago with Mark Wahlberg?
Yes, yeah, they did, but it wasn't the same. I mean, you know, some people might like that movie, but the original Italian Job it was very much a '60s movie. I think it was made in '69. It was very much a '60s movie, and one of the Michael Caine played a brilliant part in that as you know, the jailbed thief. It was organized. He played a wonderful part. And one thing I love about that, at the start of the movie, he's leaving prison, and his beautiful, glamorous girlfriend brings him back to the apartment in a a limousine that she's stolen, and he enters the apartment, and all of a sudden, all these glamorous women stand up and say, "Hi, Charlie. Hi, Charlie." And she says, as part of your coming out of prison present, what would you like? And he looks at all the women and he says, everything. I mean, absolutely wonderful. This reminds me about, you know, of Thailand. What would you like? Everything. I like everything in front of me. Okay. Anyway, Bobby Crush. In Flanagan's Bar in Liverpool, there used to be a photo of Oliver Reed and Alex Higgins drinking at the bar. Yeah, Flanagan's, that used to. I remember that one. It used to be I always thought that was a studenty bar. That very much for students. That place. Let me see.
I went to that tailor in Hong Kong, and they had a photo of Michael Caine up there where he used to go there and get his suits made.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He liked the Savile Row. He liked the Savile Row. That's a place in London. He liked those kind of famous for the suits. Very charismatic actor, amazing. He's still around now. He's still alive now, isn't he? He's had an amazing career.
Eddie, this is your main channel. You should talk about traveling. On the other channel, you can talk about movies.
Thailand.
This is your main channel. Just
slapped wrist.
Damn it.
Slapped wrist. I forgot about that. I'm having such a good time.
You thought you were on Eddie Steady Live, you know.
Eddie Live. Okay. So when we get to the, I'd say what I noticed last night on the other channel. Right, we talked a little bit about this, that, and the other, but at the end, I have this. I brought on, like, well, how can I put it? A little teensy section called "I Do Like Hairy." And I brought in a section about. I brought in, and all of a sudden, some people drifted out of the chat and all that, because, you know,
heavy vampire movies from the 70s.
I like Hardy. I do like Hardy. Okay, so listen, it's 2 hours 15 minutes into this. Who's this? Paul Smith. Why doesn't England produce knockout beautiful women? There's loads of knockout beautiful women in England. What's the matter with you? Mark Ollie, Leonard Nimoy, photograph large nude ladies in later life. Really? Really? Mark, I know from Facebook, I think loves Star Trek. And Star Trek's wonderful.
I love Star Trek.
It's a phenomenon. I personally, I like the British version of Star Trek called U.F.O. Did you ever hear of that series? It was on in the early 70s. Obviously, it was a British, but it was so really, really good. But Star Trek's a phenomenon. I must admit, a couple of those Star Trek movies that they made later on, a couple of them were really, really good. Really good.
You want to know what a really good sci-fi series that was made in the 70s was? Space 1999.
I remember it, yeah. I do remember it. It was good, but it wasn't as good as U.F.O.
Maybe not, I don't know, but the visuals and everything in that were very ahead of their time.
Yeah. I seen a little bit of that in recent years, but no, it was U.F.O. was. I actually think for the 26 episodes, it was one of the greatest series ever. It was actually one of the greatest British series ever. It was absolutely wonderful. But anyway, Mark Ollie, Leonard Nimoy, photograph large nude ladies in later life. I don't blame him. Good for him, mate. You only live once. You only live once, mate. That's it. Anyway, let me just say. David Coleman, English women are terrible. No sex appeal at all. Give me Italian any day, or even Russian or German. David Coleman, he knows what he likes. Mr. I like Thunderbirds.
That was done with models.
Yeah. That was. Did you like that one?
Yeah, that was done with little dolls. That
no, I didn't like them. It's what puppets on a string, you know.
Yeah, it was very good. And you had amazing creations, Jerry. Actually, I think Jerry Anderson, who created the Thunderbirds, I think he might have been responsible for the live action series of U.F.O. I think he was involved in that in some ways. Very, very talented person. We'll go first of all. We'll go first. David Coleman. Zulu was a fantastic movie, 100%. Absolutely, seen it so many times. Wonderful, wonderful.
Never heard of it. Zulu,
one of the greatest movies ever made.
What's it's about? What actors?
It was the movie that made Michael Caine a star in the early 60s. It was about the British battalion who were based in South Africa. It was probably called something else in them days. Who, knew that these 10,000 Zulus were on the way and going to butcher them all to pieces, but they decided to stand their ground. And it is quite simply one of the greatest movies ever. A lot of those men were given the Victoria Cross. It's a very, very tense film. You're at this, battalion, this little outpost in South Africa, and these 10,000 Zulus are coming for you.
Not gonna watch it anyway. Don't worry.
Wonderful.
Not gonna watch it.
I tell you what, some people are so.
Can I ask a question? Is there one movie, a famous movie, that you never watched because you didn't want to see it?
No, a movie that I never watched because I didn't want to see it. Well, how could I ever?
I never watched Black Panther. It's a famous movie, but it's full with. It's not because I'm racist or something, but it was too woke. It was too woke. Females, black people. I didn't want to see that movie for some reason.
Yeah, no. I'd like to see that because apparently it's a good movie. I never actually got around.
Yeah. Probably it's a good movie,
I'm not into the
special effects, but I didn't want to see it because it was too woke and it was too.
I can't think of a movie that I've never really wanted to. It's actually a strange question. That it's more
like Star Trek. If you don't like Star Trek, you don't watch Star Trek. But I love Star Trek.
I like Star Trek. I'm not a big fan of it, but I do like it. I respect what it is. But I think that a better question, Steph, would be is there any movie that you've ever heard it's a brilliant movie, and yet you just can't get into that movie? There probably are, but I can't offhand think
You
about what it
can't
is.
get into that movie.
No.
Like
Mark Holly.
La La Land. La La Land. That came out a few years ago. You know, it's a
Yeah.
singing, song, musical movie. I never watched that also because I hate
Yeah.
musicals.
That's
I'll tell
Steve
you
But
that.
it was a famous movie, La La Land or
That's
something.
Steve Martin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never
watched
seen
that.
it. I've
No.
never seen that one. That was
No.
that La La Land. That was a controversial one, wasn't it? That was the one with the guy at the Oscars announced
Yeah, I don't know.
the best Oscar film award goes to La La Land, and then
La La
they
Land,
got up
yeah.
and then they changed it. Oh no, it isn't.
Everything has to
so-
be woken now. You cannot give Oscars to white people only. You have to give it to black people also. You know.
Yeah. No.
Oh, it's all, give it to the best actor, it doesn't matter
Yeah,
if you're
yeah.
black or white.
Yeah, absolutely. Mark Holly, great live stream. Thanks, Eddie, Dave, Steph. Okay, thank you, Mark, and thank you.
Cheers.
I'll see what I'll buy Dave a meal anyway. When I see him.
I get $50.
I'll email it. I'll email you about that. I'll email you about that. I'll get in touch with Facebook.
I want the other $50 that he gave extra. I want that one.
He wants that one anyway. He wants that one. Jock Mans, as you have a great time in Bucharest, fella. I was there a few years back. Good times to be had. Let's say Yogi Bear, 23 soldiers got Victoria Crosses in that Battle of Rorke's Drift, which Zulu was about. Yeah, absolutely marvelous movie. Stanley Baker.
There's a
Let's
question
see, Mark
for
Holly.
you, Ed.
Always
Have
like
you
the
ever-
Twilight Zone. I like the Twilight Zone. You have people like Telly Savalas and when he had hair and all kinds of William Shatner appeared in an episode.
Have you ever been to South Africa, Ed?
No.
I've been there 3 times. I found it fabulous.
Yeah, really?
Mm-hmm.
Never actually made it there. Never made it there. No, never made it there. Well, what did you like about it, really?
Incredible country. I mean, the game, the wine, the food. They have all kinds of diverse areas.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, okay. Well, you never know. When my traveling life gets underway again, it's it could be on the menu.
Oh, really? Oh, that's a good movie.
There's a new movie coming out that was filmed in Sukhumvit, Attack of the Ladyboys. That sounds bloody good.
Did you watch The Serpent?
Do you know what? I've heard so much of it. But
I watched it.
Yeah, I've heard so much of it, but I think it was the first episode, and I never really got into it. Pinball, Ed, I know they're great movies, but I've never seen any of the Godfather movies. Well, watch 1 and 2, but don't bother with the third one. Though the third one isn't bad. It isn't bad, but it's not.
They're all
really
good, I think. They're all good. Yeah.
I saw Top Gun.
Yeah. Mr. Emph, new Top Gun movie coming.
That's a movie that I'm not gonna watch. The new Top Gun movie. I'm not gonna watch it.
I saw it in Bangkok.
Yeah. I'm not gonna watch it.
I saw it in that one where the chair moves.
Yeah. It's all sorts of pretty boys, isn't it? Pretty. At least the first Top Gun movie was.
Dream boys.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise is the same age as me. I don't think he's the pretty
He's the
boy
same age
anymore.
as me. We're born a
How
month
old are
apart.
you? 60?
No, I'm 55.
Yeah.
Me and Tom share birthday.
Then he's older than me, Tom Cruise.
Gemini star Bob Mongering. Yeah, okay, no, he's talking about someone else there. Okay, so the chat's drying up now anyway.
Bold mongering.
Mr. M, is it good? Okay. Let's see, Mark Holly. John Charles Daly from the original What's My Line was from Johannesburg, Africa. The original, are you familiar with that one, What's My Line?
That's old.
That's all. I never watched that one. Never actually watched that.
60s.
Funnily enough, I watched an interview last night with the wonderful, wonderful Woody Allen. Did you ever like him, Woody Allen?
Overrated.
No, no.
I liked him in his early. Woody Allen had two careers. One
He's a
was when he done.
very talented guy. You know, he's the
Yeah,
director
yeah,
for many movies. He
yeah.
played, but I don't like him. I don't know why.
But he had two careers. One was when he was doing funny comedy, and
Yeah,
the second career was when he did clever comedy. Well, I preferred him when he did funny comedy. I watched an interview
yeah.
last was this David Letterman from the early 70s. Really interesting guy. But he made some wonderful movies. I
He
really
liked young woman.
Annie Hall.
He liked
I
young
could
woman.
never see the appeal of that movie, Annie Hall. I could never see the appeal simply because I didn't know who it appealed to. Did it appeal to comedy fans or romantic movie fans? I couldn't figure that one out. But Sleeper, Love and Death, Take the Money and Run, they're all hilarious movies. And what just triggered that off what Mark said about, you know what's my line? Woody Allen did a version on a film called Everything You Need to Know About Sex. Okay. One of his segments was a game show called What's My Perversion? And it was absolutely hilarious, absolutely wonderful. Let's see. Okay, we've done that one. Let's see. Paul Smith, Tom Cruise pretending he is young.
Well, with the amount of money he spends every day on his looks.
Mark Holland, Cruise is pushing 60.
No, he's 55.
Is he really? Yeah. He's good in some movies. I liked him in Rain Man because he played the kind of young yuppie type, but I don't really see him as an action hero. I
thought it was called Rayman.
Rain Man, yeah.
Mission Impossible movies are good.
Yeah. They're good. Yeah, there are some quite interesting ones there. Mark Holland, you guys are young. Yeah, I'm the oldest guy here. I'm 60. I'm 60 now. The big
Are you 60? Really? I
I'm
thought you were
60.
like 59.
Oh, thank you for that.
You look like 59. Really?
Yeah.
I never thought you were 60.
My 20-stone wife, Steph, says that I look more like 75.
I see some younger pictures on your Facebook when you were traveling in the 90s, Eddie.
Let's talk about
you look really handsome, you know, when you were like 30 years.
You remember the series Kung Fu, right, with David Carradine?
I remember Kung Fu, yeah.
You know what happened to him, right? He was found dead in a hotel room in Bangkok, hung himself in a closet wearing ladies' lingerie.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I remember that.
Jesus
the
Christ.
Actor,
the
actor of Kung Fu.
The famous opening sequence of Kung Fu. You will walk the rice paper grasshopper, yeah? Perhaps
the pebble from my hand.
The modern woke version of it could well be, you will wear a lady's negligee, grasshopper. Oh, Christ almighty. Don't even go there.
Stockings and God, it made the papers. You know what he died of? It wasn't suicide, right? It wasn't suicide. It was autoerotic asphyxiation.
Yeah, he was choking himself or something.
Yeah? Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah.
I think I'll stick to dull things, like having the occasional Thai sandwich and that sort of thing. Paul Smith,
the guy from INXS, died from.
Yeah. And there was a British MP, the MP for Eastleigh in the early 90s.
Really?
He did the same thing. I mean, he was a Conservative MP and he found him with stockings and suspenders and an orange in his mouth. Whatever floats your boat, mate. Paul Smith, all the old men can see Tom Cruise and pretend they're still too young, yes?
I'm still trying to pretend.
But they can make look people younger with special effects now in movies. They have like a filter, and then you look like you're 20 years younger.
Is that right? Let's look up.
They constantly use that.
Mark Hollick is 59.
He's
right. Sorry. Tom Cruise is 59, and 60.
He's right. I'm mistaken.
So he's very, very similar to me, really, in age.
60.
He's probably
Who the
Similar
hell
to
do I
me in
share a
age,
birthday
probably
with? I thought it
very
was him.
different. Let's see. Who's this? David Coleman. South Africa is the most dangerous country in the
That's
world.
correct. That's
Is that
correct.
true? Yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah. Why is that? Why is that the most dangerous country?
Ever since they abolished apartheid, it just flipped.
It completely flipped.
Yeah. You see, I've met some South African, people here, and they say that it's going the same way as Zimbabwe. Really? Okay. Yeah, Jay East. Question,
Yes.
Dave. Have you been to Johannesburg? How did you find
Yes.
that place?
In fact, I'll tell you the story. Like I said, I've been to 52 countries in the world, and the only country I ever rented a car from was in South Africa when I was in Johannesburg, because I was there on a business trip. And when I rented the car from Avis, they gave me a map of the city with all these red zones, and they said, "Do not drive into these areas, and you will not come out."
Pretty dangerous.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I want to do that. I don't think I want. I don't think that would appeal. That's probably the reason, because I've traveled all through South America, Brazil, Colombia, all of those places. But I think somewhere like Johannesburg might well be pushing the boat out too far.
I was in Cape Town one night, and I walked from the hotel down to the Victoria and Albert Harbor, and I came back, and the doorman said, "How did you come back here?" And I said, "I walked." And he said, "You have to be the craziest person here."
But I don't think Cape Town is that dangerous. It's more like a tourist town. You have the Table Mountain, you have the beach there. It's more
I went
tourist,
through the park that they
touristy,
claimed was dangerous. There was a lot of guys there. They were all looking at me, but I'm a big guy.
If you wear that hat, of course, guys are gonna look at you. What
I
you
had the
expect?
machine gun too.
I'm just kidding, Dave.
No.
Okay. Yeah. Question, Dave. Why did you go to South Africa?
It was all work trips. I went there
Yeah.
3 times for the U.S. government.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's as good a reason as any. Let me see. Yes, he's done. Okay, so we've been on for this chat has gone for 2.5 hours anyway now, which is a fair. I've been through.
It's fun,
It's going to be dinner time for me. It's going to be late night snack for me anyway. We've had a good chat. This is the first time ever that there's been 3 people on this chat.
we should do it more. We should do it more.
We should do more. It's been a good time anyway. I'd like to go on for many hours, but I think some people when they watch my live streams afterwards, they say, "Oh, well, that went on for an hour and a half. That's too long." Well, this has gone on for 2.5 hours.
See, I got my Tom Cruise haircut.
Tom Cruise, very nice, very nice. Steph's. I actually watched on the live stream when Steph was shaving off his hair. Me,
It's going.
I wish I could, have all the body hair lifted off me, my hair and everything. Body hair gets on my bloody nerves. Listen, guys, I'm going to wrap this up right now anyway. Okay.
Yeah.
Listen. Thanks for everybody coming on. Okay, Steph, thanks for coming on again, my old friend.
Cheers.
Check out Steph's channel, Steph Traveler. He's a really cool guy, and we've done the odd karaoke there on Steph's.
Oh my God! Yeah.
We've done a couple of late night karaoke's there, haven't we?
Yeah.
And
I
Dave,
want to thank Mark for $50.
Drunken
okay,
karaoke.
I'll get in touch with you about that, Dave. Anyway, okay. I'll message you on Facebook about that. Okay, you got me word on it. Okay.
But we're thanking Mark for that.
Oh, Mark, yeah, absolutely. Mark's terrific. I'd love Mark to come on this show. I really would. He's a Facebook friend of mine as well, and he could come on this show and anytime.
Does he travel to Thailand?
Mark,
what's that?
Does he travel to Thailand?
Do you travel to Thailand, Mark? Great chat, everyone.
Guess so. Ernest Cornell is also a nice guy. I think you know him also, Ernest Cornell.
Ernest Connell's a good guy. I believe Mark has travelled to Thailand. I'm sure he has. Let's see. Okay. Bottle Baby, Lefty all around. Okay, I'm going to wrap this one up, guys. Anyway, okay. Thanks for everyone. Thanks to Mark for that super chat. Anyway, really do appreciate it. It's wonderful everyone coming along. This has been 2.5 hours. This chat here, okay, 2.5 hours. Oh, Steph's gone. He's gone.
We lost one.
We lost one. Okay. 2.5 hours, that's been the length of Goodfellas. The length of the good, the bad, the ugly. In fact, am I right in saying it's the length of the first Godfather movie? I think it's about that length as well. 2.5 hours is a fair time anyway.
Yeah, we could double it easy. You know that.
Listen, Dave, thanks for me getting in touch with you anyway. Have a lovely evening. I'll be in touch soon anyway. Okay.
Okay, you too.
Okay, all the best anyway. There you go, guys. So a 2.5 hour chat. Thanks to my guest coming on tonight. We've had a good chat anyway. It's late in the evening here in England. There's sod all on the TV anyway. Okay, we've talked a little bit about travel, but there's not a great deal to talk about right now. I'm off to Romania next week. I can't wait. I've got my boarding pass. I can't wait. And in the meantime, I will say thanks to everybody. Thanks to everyone. Have a lovely evening, a great day at whatever you're doing, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.